Look, who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood, home? Let's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
Whoa, now. What's happening, good people? How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody is doing all right. Hope you're having a great day. It is hot outside. Ooh. Yes, indeed, it is hot outside. So, if you don't have to be out there in that heat, man, don't go out there. It is hot outside. Make sure that you are hydrating if you are, because good Lord, it's hot. And they say this, the second day of, I think this is the second day of, fall. Yeah, today's second day of fall. Good golly. Yes, indeed. So, several things we got to talk about in the news. Jasmine, you all right today? You all right? How you doing, bro? You always got to ask how you doing.
I'm very happy to be here.
Say, bro, you sounding racial. What that is?
That was my Coming to America voice.
Oh, that was, see, let me tell you why I said that immediately. So I got telephone calls yesterday.
I think I know where this is going.
After the show yesterday.
Were you offensive to someone?
That's what they're saying, that I was very offensive. Nope. On the conversation piece about the war.
About what?
About the war.
It's kind of hard not to be offensive about that.
It's called a bigot.
A bigot?
Mm-hmm.
A bigot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What else?
I don't see what you said that was.
I was trying to figure it out too. I guess I can't tell my opinion.
But okay, I might have to go into the dictionary and go look.
Oh yeah, look at the conversation piece and look at it and say, well, maybe we need to look at the dictionary and try to find out what's the meaning of bigot.
Right.
It's called a bigot. What else was I called?
I mean, I could think of a whole things that we possibly.
I was anti-Jew.
Okay,
I was anti-Asian. I was
anti-Asian.
Yeah, anti-Latino.
Latino.
Mm-hmm. And that I was a bigot.
That was somebody that just wanted to talk to you and say bad things. That's all.
But they didn't call me.
Huh?
They didn't call me to say that. That they called the powers to be, the owners of the radio station, to tell them.
No.
Which I think that's a cop-out. And then I don't have no problem saying it. Which, I stand by what I said yesterday when it comes to this war. I don't think I said anything that was outrageous. And not only that, we had people that were calling in that, they said, but even didn't you say your part too?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I wonder, was I anti-bigoty than you?
You know what? I mean,
I wonder, was I anti-Jew, anti-Asian, and anti-Latino? Well, I guess that's when I made my conversation piece about, how people stand. Maybe they didn't hear the whole show because I divided that piece up. Because you remember, we started off with, have you all been watching what's going on? And then now we're going into Lebanon and Beirut. And then came Janelle. Janelle did her piece from 2 until 3. Then I came back.
And then we came back, right?
From 3. So probably
maybe
that's all they heard.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Said they were pissed off and was going to turn it off and all this other stuff. Like, okay.
But my thing is this: it's opinions.
Opinion.
So you can't really get mad about somebody having a different opinion than yours.
Say, bro, as much talk radio that I listen to, that I have different opinion and it's offensive to me, I'm like, wow. just because you know the owners of the radio station and feel that you're going to pick up the phone and write disparaging information and calling me names. I slept well last night. Did you?
I slept extraordinarily well.
Okay.
So, um,
I'm I'm just telling you what the truth is.
I mean, so I looked at the definition.
Mhm.
I disagree, but I could see
What's the definition of bigot?
a person who is
Can't hear you.
ostensively or unreasonably attached to a belief or opinion or faction, especially one
Now I can tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. We actually
who is prejudiced against someone.
so we could actually pick up yesterday's conversation piece and play it back. And I ain't tell you to do that, but you might even agree with me on this one that a lot of the conversation piece that I said yesterday, I said I need y'all to call and tell me because I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I could have sworn I said that.
Yeah,
several times
you said that several times.
Okay.
You said that several times.
I
And
said
that's
now, this is what I see and this is what I hear, but I don't know. So
right. And
y'all correct me if I'm wrong.
and that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't understand how someone could say that, and we're sitting there and it's like, okay, this is what I believe at this point, because this is what I know.
Right.
I don't necessarily know the whole.
At no point in time did we get on the air and say, this is how it is, and y'all lying to us, and we know that this is what y'all doing.
No.
Now, did we have any callers that said that? We had maybe one or two. Said, I know what's going on. I know what you're doing. Da da da. Me, I'm learning every single day.
Right.
But it did for a minute make me think twice, about who's listening and why. Because I do think that some folks have their own agenda.
Oh, most definitely. And no, the person or people who called are definitely those with the agenda. And
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, it's
I don't have no.
it's obvious.
I don't have no agenda when it comes to this.
No, I mean,
I'm going to voice my opinion because this is what I see, and I said, and I'll say it again. I don't know everything, and if somebody does have a better example or knows better, call me and tell me. That's why I give out the telephone number. Don't sit up there and be no punk.
but I'll
or
say
be
this.
punkish.
I'll say this, and this is me, myself, Kendall, Jazzman Williams. I do have an agenda when it comes to it. I want to see it reasonably solved.
Yeah.
That is my agenda.
Okay.
This reasonably solved, because just like whoever it is called in or made the comment that we're anti this,
Right.
I am anti something. I am 100% anti something. I am anti evil. So if you're doing evil acts, which evil acts have been done on both sides of this, I don't want to hear nothing, because both sides got to get it together. It's a give and take thing. That's why this has been going on for so long.
Right.
One side think they all the way right. The other side think the other side is all the way wrong.
Well,
and the problem is both of them is halfway wrong and halfway right.
And halfway right. All they got to do is take out the wrong and put the halfway right together. We have a whole situation solved.
There you go.
And that's where I stand. I'm with you on that. So then if that's an agenda that we want to stand on, that's where I stand too. Now, I'm not going to harp on this on the whole show, but I just wanted to know whoever that was that I got an idea. I do have an idea that made that attempt to try to get me in trouble, woo-woo, because you were telling people that you were turning off the radio or you wanted them to write about me being a bigot. That's the answer to your question right there. If you think I'm a bigot, then evidently you didn't listen to the entire show, because there were so many folks that were calling in that have the same or even, I don't know if I should say better or worse opinion than I do. But that's what it is, an opinion. But at least I give you the opportunity to pick up the phone and correct me if I'm wrong. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that. That's the end of that part of the conversation. Bruh, this information that is out now about Brett Favre. I'm looking at it and saying to myself, is this news or should I leave this to the sports show? But I decided that we were going to have this conversation about Brett Favre because
this one of them stories that cross boundaries.
It crossed the boundary.
Yeah, this one of them
because
stories
it don't have
that cross
anything about
boundaries.
him on the field. It has something to do with him being on the field, but he retired.
Right.
So it's nothing to do with him being on the field. Now, it has everything to do on did he do something wrong that is criminal.
Right.
And maybe I should wait before I get into it because I know you got to take your break. Yeah, you got to take your break. So you got to take your break first. We'll come back. Open up the telephone lines here at 504-582-9422. Brett Favre and welfare scandal money. If you don't know, I'll explain it to you when we come back. And then I have something that is very damaging today. Did y'all know that Puffy's ex-wife, before she mysteriously died, had written a memoir? Oh, baby. And they have somebody that is reading verses of the memoir. And we just happen to have that conversation. We'll do that too. All right, more coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
Every day, the RTA gets thousands of New Orleanians where they need to be. Whether you're headed downtown, the Ninth Ward, or Algiers, our buses, ferries, and iconic streetcars are going your way. Rolling with the RTA is a smart way to help you save money and the environment. Download the La Pass app today to plan your ride, get real-time arrival information, or make mobile payments. Because the RTA is how New Orleans rolls.
Discover the Leah Chase School, NOLA Public School's first new direct-run traditional public school in nearly 2 decades. We offer excellence in math, science, English, and social studies, focusing on unlocking every child's potential. Every scholar receives a personal device, regular assessments, clear family communication, as well as transportation services in a nurturing arts-inclusive environment. Secure your child's K through 5th grade slot today. Apply at enrollnolaps.com and embark upon a unique educational journey.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month, a service of the community scientist and Rise St. James. This month, we're focusing on lead, a heavy metal that's dense, soft, and poses serious health risks. In Cancer Alley, lead exposure from industrial emissions or contaminated soil can significantly increase cancer risks and other health problems. Stay informed and protect your health. For more information, visit risestjames.org.
September is National Recovery Month and time to celebrate the millions of Americans in recovery. Metropolitan Human Services District wants to remind you that treatment is effective and everyone can recover. If you are looking for a recovery program and you live in the Orleans, St. Bernard, or Plaquemines Parish, visit mhsdla.org or call 504-568-3130. Recovery is possible and MHSD is here to help. Metropolitan Human Services District, where we change lives.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. Hump Day. I thought you were going to do the mic. Okay. It's Hump Day. It's hot outside, too, so y'all be careful out there and make sure that you hydrate here. My number 504-582-9422. What's going on? AA Ron.
What's going on, man?
You the man, brother. What's going on with you?
Oh man, I was hoping that this didn't come up, but at the same time too, I was hoping it did come up. But first off, shouts out to the Fatherhood Round Table, People's Political Party, and Sister Cookie. Be safe on that road. Look at him. This establishment, they are some good deviators, right?
Wait a minute, say again now.
Sometimes
I can't hear him.
You can hear me.
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
hear me? I said this establishment, they are some good deviators, meaning they're supposed to be focused on one thing, but they always find other ways to get out that one thing or to take us from getting out the one thing when we're supposed to be focusing on and focus on something else. Look at here. When you mess over the people, bad things are going to happen to you. I don't care about him having no Parkinson's disease or none of that. When you took that money, you and the governor, you knew where the money was coming from. As a matter of fact, you took the money and you used some of the money to build your daughter
For the
a
make a
playground.
volleyball court.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. But you're talking about you using money for disease study. Man, get out of here with that. You and the governor of Mississippi is guilty of taking that money from poor people. And let's not. This is the same Brett Favre. Remember those explicit comments he made about New Orleans and the Saints players when he came to the Dome. I think he was playing with the Vikings then, right? And we beat them in that game to go to the Super Bowl, I think, some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And also, let's not forget when he was saying about basically he said the same thing what your girl said from Fox when he said them black players getting all that money, they need to just shut up and just play football and things like that. Especially when Kaepernick took that knee for the oppression as well as the injustice that we see and we constantly face on a daily basis. Them white folks went up there on January 6th based on the lie. Here, we taking a stand or taking a knee for the truth and trying to get to the truth. At the end of the day, we as a community, we got to stop giving these people passes. And I'm not saying you, G. I'm just saying in general.
Mm-hmm.
We got to stop giving these people passes because of the sicknesses that they contract because of them messing over the people. It's a whole list of them. Kathleen Blanco, the Reverend Calvin Butts. And, speaking of Calvin Butts, you remember a couple of weeks ago when Wendell Pierce had the little incident with the apartment complex in New York City?
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Butts, the Reverend Calvin Butts, set the atmosphere, set the climate for that, because just like when he came out and was I'm against all that bad rap music when it came to us, right? He was supposed to take that same stance when the white folks tried to go up, but not tried because they actually did. When they went into Harlem and made Harlem into what it is right now. See, a lot of the people that we look up to, if you take and do your research and study some of these people, you will realize why, even though they going to because they did. But look, living.
You breaking up, bro? You breaking up?
Oh man.
I heard you say, "Oh man." Go ahead. Yeah, you breaking up. Did we lose him? We lost him. Hey, Ron, if you can hear me, call me back. Call me back so you can finish. Yeah, let him call back. For those of you that are wondering, what is he talking about? The news about Brett Favre. Yep, the quarterback, Brett Favre, or retired quarterback for the Green Bay Packers and Minnesota, is in the news today. Retired NFL quarterback Brett Favre, diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, was put on the congressional committee Tuesday, in front of a congressional committee Tuesday. Favre made the disclosure as part of his testimony about a welfare misspending scandal in Mississippi. He does not face criminal charges. He repaid over $1 million in speaking fees funding by a welfare program in the state, and was also an investor in a biotech company with ties to the case. The biotech firm has said that it was developing concussion treatments. The former football star told the committee that he lost his investment in the company that I believe was developing a breakthrough concussion drug I thought would help others. Now let's talk about this welfare money that Brett Favre and the governor of Mississippi are talking about. Because what has come forward is that there's newly revealed text messages that are showing how deeply a Mississippi governor was involved in the state paying more than $1 million in welfare money to Brett Favre to help him fund one of the retired NFL quarterback's pet projects. Instead of money going to help low-income families in one of the nation's poorest states, it was funneled through a nonprofit group and spent on a new $5 million volleyball facility at a university that the football star and the governor both attended. One of the texts for 2017 showed Republican Phil Bryant, who left office in 2020, as on board with the arrangement. The state is suing Favre and others, alleging they misspent monies, millions of dollars, in welfare money, and the director of the nonprofit has pleaded guilty to criminal charges in Mississippi's largest public corruption case in decades. The texts were in documents filed Monday in state court by an attorney for the nonprofit, known as the Mississippi Community Education Center. Messages between Favre and the center's executive director, Nancy New, included references to Bryant. The documents also include messages between Bryant and Favre and Bryant and New. Now, New, who was the head of the education fund, that is her name, pleaded guilty in April to charges of misspending welfare money, as did her son, Zachary, and who helped run the nonprofit. They await sentencing and have agreed to testify against the others. Favre has not been charged with any criminal wrongdoing. Why not? That's my question. Why not? In Bryant's text, it says, just left Brett Favre. Bryant texts New on July 16, 2019, misspelling the athlete's last name. Can we help him with his project? We should meet soon to see how I can make sure we keep your projects on course. New responded, I would appreciate having the opportunity to follow through with all the good things that we have going on, especially project like Brett's. Later that day, New texted Favre to let him know that she was meeting with the governor. I love John so much, and you too, Favre responded to New, referring to the Mississippi Department of Human Services director at the time, John Davis. The text also showed discussion between Favre and New about arranging payment from the Human Services Department through the nonprofit to Favre for speaking engagements, and Favre then saying he would direct the money to the volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi. Then the conversation. Here it is now. Favre played football at the university located in Hattiesburg before going to the NFL in 1991. His daughter began playing at the volleyball team, for the volleyball team in 2017. According to court documents, Favre texts New on August 13th, and it quotes here, August 3rd, not 13th, 2017, if you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much? New responded, no. We never have had that information publicized. I understand you being uneasy about that, and let's see what happens on Monday with the conversation with some of the folks at Southern. Maybe it will click with them, hopefully. Favre replied, okay, thanks. The next day, another text came from Favre. Wow, just got off the plane with Phil Bryant. He is on board with us. We will get this done. Favre responded, awesome. I needed to hear that for sure. Now, according to previous court filings, New, who was the head of the nonprofit, made 2 payments of welfare money to Favre Enterprises, the athlete's business, of $500,000 in December 2017 and $600,000 in June 2018. And you telling me you ain't know this was coming from welfare? December 27, check this out. December 27, 2017. Favre texts Nancy Santa. Santa came home today and dropped some money off, 2 smiling emojis. Thank you, my God. Thank you, my goodness. Yes, he did, New responded. He felt you had been pretty good this year. Talking about Santa. Attorneys for Favre did not immediately respond to a message Wednesday from the Associated Press, but they're saying, hey, in July 11th, New's attorneys wrote that Bryant directed her to pay $1.1 million in welfare money to and through the Education Center for speaking at events, keynote speaking, radio and promotional events, and business partner development. In July, a Bryant spokesperson said allegations that the governor improperly spent the money are false, and the Bryant had also asked the state auditor to investigate possible welfare fraud. Bruh, this didn't go to welfare. So what is it? Why are they saying that they didn't misspend the money? They misspent the money.
You better watch yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You might get accused of being anti-quarterback.
Now I'm gonna say something else here. Bruh, this privilege.
At its finest.
Hold on, I'm gonna get anti-privilege.
Yeah.
Shh.
You know what? Just don't say anything that you think.
Can I sign it?
No. No, you can't sign. No.
I can't?
Because then you're going to be anti-blind.
Oh, that's true. I can't. What I got to do, sit here?
Just sit there.
Let somebody else call in and tell me? Or you
Yep.
want to tell me? Well, you know you're going to be put there too, so.
No, yeah, I got to be, I can only say a few things.
Then we're going to let everybody else say it then. 504-582-9422. Do I pause and wait?
I don't know. I mean, because you know what? Maybe that's what you should do so that the people that's complaining could build up the guts and the cojones to call in
Nah, I ain't gonna do
and explain where we wrong at. Because that's the only thing I could see if we're having a discussion,
yeah,
and our point of view is wrong,
right.
like we're not,
And then you're called anti-something.
then the person that feels the opposite way should be able to call in and voice their opinion and make
And
us
debate it.
understand that
And debate it.
we're being,
Especially when you are saying, if I'm wrong,
yeah, if we wrong, then prove that we wrong. Other than that, then maybe you don't have the proof to prove that we wrong, and maybe we are right,
so
and you wrong.
So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just sit here. I'm not gonna say a word. The rest is gonna be dead air until the phone rings. Unless you say something, unless you want to play a song, something. Because my job as a talk show host, not a news person, as a talk show host, is to give you opinions
And
Now-
talk about them
and talk about them.
and debate and
I didn't say give you my opinion. I said give you opinions. Right.
plural.
Right. Some may say it this way. Some may say it that way. Some may call in and tell me this is where they feel, and my opinion that came out of my mouth, because most of the time I'll tell you, well, I don't want to tell you what I'm thinking.
I want to hear what y'all got to
I
say
hear what y'all
before
gotta
I
say.
tell you.
Before I say.
Yeah.
But yesterday, we were in the last hour when I said, this is what I'm seeing. But what they didn't hear was what happened in the first hour. And I told everybody I was wrong in the first hour because of the fact that I didn't think that nobody was paying attention to this war, especially us, black people.
Yep.
And y'all can call me and tell me differently. The phones jumped off the hook, didn't they?
Jumped off the hook. I guarantee none of those calls was the person that called in to complain.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Which just shows, I mean,
that's privilege.
And a lack of wanting to make it right. See, the person that does that doesn't have making it right in their mind. The person that does that is only trying to make you see their point of view. And
if I got to be that person,
that's
there's
not
no
how
need
that,
for me to be here.
That's not how that goes.
If that's the way that it got to go, and I'll be the first to say it publicly, and I have no problem saying it. If that's the way that it got to go, there's no need for me to be here. There's no need for me to even be sitting behind this microphone. And if that's what I'll be told, there'll be no way that I could sit here. I will walk out.
Yeah, I mean
Thank everybody for the opportunity and the time frame, but I can't do that.
Yeah, I mean
that's not who I am. I know that ain't who you are either.
Nah. And I'm just like baffled behind this whole thing because anytime you're talking about something like a war, right? Yeah. This is a very serious topic. There's
life and death.
There's on both sides.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So for one person on one side to just be worried about that side being painted in a certain light, then there's nothing that you're not showing me that you're trying to work towards a solution. You're just trying to continue to divide.
Else. You can't tell me that there are an abundance of radio stations and talk shows like ours that have people of my hue or your hue that have the ability to feel comfortable enough to pick up the phone, know you by name, and discuss what they're seeing and what they're hearing. If there's something wrong, let's correct it.
Right.
But if I'm telling you as a talk show host, I'm just talking about all these things that I'm seeing, and I'm trying to get better understanding from somebody like Mr. Elmore, who called in and said, I know what I'm talking about. He told me that 3 times yesterday. I know what I'm talking about. And then we had other folks that call in and say, I agree with him. But if I'm trying to silence you and making you think otherwise, they always told me in the posture of silencing somebody, you always cut off the head. And if you cut off the head, then the rhetoric goes away. Well, guess who was the head of that conversation yesterday? Me. But using the power of calling the owners of the radio station? Okay. That's why I said I'm going to leave it alone. Now, as far as this conversation is concerned about Brett Favre, I know that he's got a whole bunch of folks that are fans of Brett Favre and love what he did as a football player, but something's wrong with this.
100%.
This ain't got nothing to do with football.
Yeah.
If you did it or I did it, I can guarantee you that the conversation piece would be a whole
lot.
They sure as hell wouldn't be calling us to a congressional hearing.
No.
Like, why are they calling him to a congressional hearing to talk to the folks?
Right.
What?
Like, his defense was, when I was reading the story yesterday, his defense was basically he didn't know. I'm like, you didn't know?
How you not know? But
and then I read all the text messages, and I'm like, oh, man.
Right.
If I did all this and I said, man, I didn't know, then everybody in the courtroom will bust out laughing at me.
Check
be
this
like,
out.
son.
Mississippi Auditor Shad White said that Favre was paid for speeches but did not show up.
There's the fraud right there.
Hello.
There's the fraud, right? You almost watch this. You probably if you'd have went to him and said hello, goodbye, you probably would have been straight. It wouldn't have been fraud.
Nope.
It'd have been skeptical, but
But the auditor for the state of Mississippi said he ain't show up and he still got paid
right.
to repay the money. Dude, you committed fraud. But we still gonna give you the opportunity to repay the money.
Yeah, because we understand you was doing something very important for the community. The community
And
very desperately needed a volleyball field.
And
A volleyball
right for
court.
your daughter. And they saying that he still owe $228,000 in interest. What? In interest?
Brett Favre used to be one of my favorite quarterbacks until I found out about this. And I was like, you know what? You didn't have too much. You didn't say it too much. I was overlooking some things just because but nah. You doing too much, bro. You're doing too much. I can't accept you stealing from the poor.
So I'm wondering why nobody picked up the phone and said he should be charged to the people of Mississippi. Why isn't he being charged? And then if I looked into the cases prior to this of people that were charged with Medicaid fraud, Medicare fraud, I'll go a little bit further and say, nonprofit fraud, because they'll put that on you in a heartbeat too. And you have been charged with these cases. How come the same grace is not being given to those folks as they're giving it to Brett Favre? I'm just saying. Grace? I tell you, I'm just sitting here. I can't make an opinion.
Yeah, I was just about to say we can't say much because you don't want to be labeled anti-quarterback.
Should I give a telephone number?
504-582-9422. I'm trying to just keep you from being anti-number or anything.
I appreciate you, brother. Love you like a play cousin.
I mean, if y'all think that there's something dastardly about this act, that phone number that we just gave out, yeah, y'all could call us up and voice your opinion, so that we can finally walk this line of not exposing our opinions on a situation that is very black or white. Oh, thank you very much. Mustang Salad, what you got for us?
Oh, that's Mustang? Hey, Mustang.
Yes, it is.
Hey, baby.
I want to say that, y'all telling the truth about Mr. Forbes. He was wrong, but now he's got to answer the king. What can you do about your problem? There's no cure. No, you're wrong. You're wrong as a silver dollar bill. Number 2, this is for Mr. G. Mr. G, that's why I call you so, and that's why I listen. You're a beautiful person. You're always thinking about people. You got somebody for me to call you to tell you that I was doing okay. Now we got another one. We're just going to have to pray about this one. But I'm just going to pray for BOK and all of y'all. Be careful. Leave when you're supposed to leave if you can leave. You are
Mustang,
so thoughtful.
let me ask you a question, because they're saying that this storm is headed that way.
I know.
So what you going to do?
I'm in a good place right now so far. Nobody can say they're in a good place ever no more, because guess what? We thought we was in a good place in New Orleans.
Right.
So I mean, and see, Atlanta is like chilling. No, don't chill, y'all. Don't chill. It never happened here. I said just be alert and do what you need to do because they have a lot of dips and they've been having a lot of floods in Atlanta. So Trina knows. She knows. She can rent a call.
Okay.
So we gonna do what we need to do. But I really thank you because you got somebody to call me. And I appreciate you thinking of me.
Yeah, but you gotta give me details about what you're gonna do, where you can be, because I don't want to be looking for you on the radio here.
Well, you won't have to because since they awarded me them little sweethearts on the front porch, y'all some sweet people. I got to give it to you. They have my address and my phone number and everything.
I got you. All right, my love.
Okay.
You take care.
And y'all gonna get a picture of me. And just stay strong and do what you need to do, and we're going to do the same thing.
Okay. All right.
Okay, love y'all.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, Miss Pamela.
Hello there. Hello there.
How are you?
I'm good, baby. How are you?
Good.
Now, you know doggone well, if one of us tried some stuff like that, we'd be under the jailhouse and they'd throw away the key.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be no restitution possibilities, nothing like that.
I was looking at the grace period. I was like, and for me to say, I think Jazz pulled me back. I was like, that's that privilege kicking in real good.
Real good.
But is it the privilege of race, or is it the privilege of familiarity because you're famous, because of your football career? What is that? A little bit of both.
All of it. Remember me telling you, baby, peace, be still. Just sit back and watch. A whole bunch of stuff is about to change. The Lord Jesus Christ has put that in my mind. A whole lot of things are about to change, and it will be changing for the better. Just hold tight. Hold tight. Keep your peace, because I know what you want to say, and I wish I could say it for you, but I'm going to try to be ladylike.
Yes, indeed.
But if I ever had a chance and I run into you and we're on the street, I'll let it loose then, because I don't want to be kicked off the radio station, so I'm just going to be a lady.
You'll be all right. Yes, indeed. All right, Miss Pamela. Thank you, my love.
All right, baby.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
All right, you got to take a break. All right, Mike, hold on. We're coming back. We got to take a break. We'll take a break here. We'll come right back. More, and we'll take your telephone calls, too, at 504-582-9422. More coming up next.
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 a.m. and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
This is Dr. Jaquil Ross, the host for Talk That, NOLA education brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans. On Talk That, we'll be focusing on the amazing work of our educators and students happening inside and around public schools in New Orleans. Our school communities are full of so much talent and promise, so let's talk about it. This month, we'll be joined by Libby Bain and Candace Frazier to discuss the importance of teacher compensation in New Orleans. Then we'll hear from Kathleen Harris and Dr. Mitchell Brookins about our Literacy Leader cohort created to support middle and high school educators across the city. In addition, we'll chat with students from Inspire NOLA charter schools about their experience at the NOLA Love Rally. Following that, we'll be joined by Emily Wolf and Chelsea Moore to learn about the Thrive Kids Student Wellness Program at Children's Hospital. So tune in to Talk That, NOLA education every Monday at 12:30 p.m. on 12:30 a.m. To learn more about NSNO and our programs, visit newschoolsneworleans.org.
Tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon to What's Growing New Orleans, hosted by Angel Vanderpool. What's Growing New Orleans is a weekly conversation about developing and growing Black businesses throughout the region. Brought to you by the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome to Liberty Bank and Trust, where your financial journey transforms communities. Since 1972, our customized banking solutions power your dreams and fuel your community growth. Every dollar you invest with us circles back to empower more people, ensuring opportunities for generations. Join us at Liberty Bank. Together, we empower possibility. Visit libertybank.net to start banking with purpose. Liberty Bank, there's freedom here.
Every day, the RTA gets thousands of New Orleanians where they need to be. Whether you're headed downtown, the Ninth Ward, or Algiers, our buses, ferries, and iconic streetcars are going your way. Rolling with the RTA is a smart way to help you save money and the environment. Download the La Pass app today to plan your ride, get real-time arrival information, or make mobile payments. Because the RTA is how New Orleans rolls.
WBOK 1230 AM New Orleans. Home of the reality check. Weekdays 1 to 4 p.m.
Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. It's Wednesday. Over the Hump Day is in full effect. My number 504-582-9422. Mike.
Gerard.
Oh, Mike.
Gerard, if it was one of me, I'd be in jail.
Huh?
If it was one of me, I'd be in jail.
Well, nah, you wouldn't be, bro.
Come on.
Yeah, they have you sitting in front of the in front of the committee too, bro. You just have to.
He should have been picked. He should have been picked up a year or two when I heard about this story.
That's interesting. I was sitting back and saying to myself, they are going all the way around Favre and indicting and arresting all the players that are involved in this, but they're not touching him. But you are the recipient.
You know what he was getting paid for, right?
For
he was going to go talk to disadvantaged kids.
For public speaking.
But he was going to go talk to disadvantaged kids to raise them out of the situation they were in, and he took advantage of that.
But he never showed up.
I never liked him when he played for Green Bay.
But he never showed up to the speaking engagements. I was like, wait a minute. And they still paid him.
I know. That's what I said. He should have been picked up a year or two ago when I heard about it. But I can't believe he's still out of jail.
So this is what I'm trying to figure out, Mike. Maybe you can help me out because I can't say too much here because then I'll be called, oh, you were prejudiced against Mike and, then they'll really keep saying stuff like that. So I need to make sure that I'm on point. So in your perspective, not my perspective, but in your perspective, how did this happen? Give me a beginning to an end. How did this happen?
How did the whole situation come about?
Yeah, how did it get to the point where nobody touched him?
First off, 99.9% of the people out there aren't even going to get that chance to do it, only because he's Brett Favre.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right? And he accepted to take money to go speak to disadvantaged children in poor neighborhoods to try to get them out of the situation they were in. He took advantage of it. He didn't even show up and took the money.
Right.
This is outright fraud. What else do you want me to say?
So that's just because he's Brett Favre.
He's the only reason he got the chance to even take advantage of that situation because he was Brett Favre.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if anybody out there has a chance to go, I don't know, take work for a nonprofit, go do something, they take, a speaking fee for a nonprofit and they don't show up. It's the same thing. It's still fraud.
Right. And with a nonprofit, there's always the possibility that you will have a state auditor to look into the nonprofit status.
Absolutely, because you got a tax deduction. They can take a tax deduction for that, and that brings you in non-compliance with the state.
And the state is always going to be looking into who you are, what you've done, because they're the ones that say you're either in good standing or you're not.
Correct. And also what the state is going to do, they're going to take the cheapest way out. They're going to give you a penalty, and they're going to offer you to pay back the fraud and the fine and the penalty. You do that, it's gone. That's the cheapest way for the state. That's what they're doing now with him. Now, why is it taking 2 or 3 years? Because he's Brett Favre. What else you want me to say?
Well, I wanted to get your perspective.
If he was
I don't know, 30 years ago, if he was, Warren Moon or somebody, would he have been locked up? No, he would probably been, given every, second, opportunity and given a chance to pay it back because they have money. What else you want me to say?
So if he got money, but if he got money, why ain't he just paying the money back?
Why is he dragging so long to pay it back?
I don't know what that is, though. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
He's got to have the money. Just pay it back and get rid of it. Why is it still dragging on?
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand.
All right, look, we getting ready to get into the
Take it easy, Gerard.
No. We getting ready to get into the to fall. We getting ready to get into fall. It's getting ready to get cool outside. I thought you were having a cookout and you were going to invite me over to the barbecue.
You're always invited. You know my number. Just give me a call. I'll invite you.
I still want my steak.
I'll put it on the big green egg for you. It'll be really good.
Mike, good hearing from you, my friend. I appreciate you much.
Nice. Take it easy, Gerard. Right. You have a good day.
You too, brother.
Have a good show.
All right, more coming up. Dr. Sanyika, Reverend Wallace. Everybody hold tight. We'll be back right after news.
WBOK 1230 AM New Orleans, home of the Reality Check, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Ray Harris, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Sean Diddy Combs is in the same Brooklyn jail as former crypto king Sam Bankman-Fried. Sources tell NBC Combs is being housed at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, in the same living space of the disgraced crypto exec. 2 different judges have denied Combs release on bail in connection to racketeering and sex charges, with a 3rd appeal set for next month. Forecasters say Tropical Storm Helene could be a Category 3 hurricane before it makes landfall in Florida. Helene is expected to intensify over the eastern Gulf of Mexico and become a hurricane sometime today. And that's the latest. I'm Ray Harris on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Celebrating hardworking teachers of New Orleans Public Schools is what we do best. Join New Schools for New Orleans, Allstate, Sugar Bowl, and Integer New Orleans in recognizing and celebrating the Teachers of the Year at our 3rd annual New Orleans Excellence in Teaching Awards Gala. If you want to check out the awardees in the schools where they teach at, please visit Noeta, Noeta.org. You can also purchase tickets to the gala via the website too. Let's send these teachers some love for all the hard work they do with our students.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. Ooh, baby, we got some stuff for you. I got to tell you more about it as we get into the conversation piece. But 504-582-9422 is my number. Reverend Wallace.
Hey, Brother Gerard.
What's going on with
I
you?
want to say one thing. You hear anything about Chopper? How's his status? How's he doing?
No, I heard that he was in a car accident, but I had not heard the status as of yet. I am watching that as well. I didn't want to put the information out there as far as him being in a car accident, but I didn't know how serious it was. But I did understand that there are a lot of folks on social media that are also watching the story.
Yeah. Another thing, barbecue. I want my books, y'all. Brett Favre and Governor Mavis from Mississippi ought to be thrown on barbecue grill somewhere for the dirtiest, low-down, scummy, scammers, and stuff they did. He might have more than Parkinson needs before he leaves here. That piece of trash beat those kids out of all that money and could sit up there and try to get simply for Parkinson's disease. I got some medicine for him. You need to come see me. I'll help him cure.
Yes, indeed.
It just show you can investigate Vappy for payroll under $7,000. You got him going to court for $7,000 for payroll fraud, and here this man took millions.
$5 million.
and can sit before a federal committee in the United Senate and talk about his. I mean, it's just disgusting. I've seen it all.
Yeah, it just don't seem equal to me. That's what I'm saying. That's more.
And
so
I'm where is the democratic process in Mississippi? I mean, you're taking women's and putting them off of welfare because they might have cashed 1 or 2 checks more than they was supposed, and you get this guy here, he gets away scot-free.
Yep.
Nothing, not even a scratch.
Nope. It's
you just can't come to New Orleans.
It's real interesting. So there you go.
Sad.
All right, Reverend Wallace, thank you, sir.
Okay, brother. All
Talk
right,
to you in a minute. Hey, Dr. Sanyika.
Hey, bro G, how you, man?
Oh, how you doing? That should be the question here. You sounding like you got something going on. What's wrong?
Oh yeah. I just got out of the hospital this a day or so ago. Yeah, I had
What?
ran into a medical problem and had to go to the hospital and have it addressed. And fortunately, we caught the problem and I'm okay. But in the meantime, I also just lost my sister.
Oh my goodness.
In New Orleans.
I am so sorry.
Yeah, Annabelle Mingo. Yeah, she just passed away. Her services will be sometime next week. So yeah, it's been a rough period for me. But my head is not bloody, and it certainly is not bowed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still rolling strong, still going strong. So I wanted to offer a brief comment about the subject that you are engaged in controversy about today.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, this is a matter that was not handled properly from the very outset a year or so ago when this first emerged. We all knew that there was something scandalous and something privileged in Mississippi about the Brett Favre story and the preferred status that he has been granted, by the state in that particular instance,
mm-hmm.
and that he had been engaged in fraudulent behavior. I mean, that information had been circulating for a while, but nobody was going to do very much about prosecuting him, because of his status.
And don't they also say that the law knows no ignorance?
Well, ignorance is not an excuse,
right?
To be sure, and he has no excuse. He just has no excuse in coming to Congress about his medical problem today, Parkinson. It's just an effort to seek sympathy, for the crime that he has committed, so that he doesn't get persecuted any further. And they're going to find a way to give him some kind of grace and some sort of exception, slap him on the wrist and let him walk free. I mean, he should go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question about what should happen to him. He should go to jail. It's an outright crime what he did.
I mean, it's amazing to me just the number of nonprofit folks that were involved in nonprofits. I would even go and say, right here, not only just Mississippi, but I would say Louisiana as well, that as the auditor have done their reports and found out that there was some type of misappropriation of funds, they went to jail. Dr. Sanyika, they went to jail. There have been special reports put together by these television reporters that, question them about their spending habits and everything else. They went to jail, and it was still not the monies that we see that Brett Favre and the governor of Mississippi and this lady with this nonprofit did. It was almost like they were laundering the money.
Yeah. It sounds like that they were. It sounds like that is exactly what they were doing, and how they got away with it as long as they did is amusing to me, because nonprofit organizations, 501c3s, those that are federally tax exempt,
mm-hmm.
have to submit an annual report.
Right.
And then that report is reviewed, and if it is found lacking, there are consequences for a nonprofit for submitting inaccurate reports or reports that cannot document the nonprofit use of the money that they received for a given specific purpose. Because you can't just, as a nonprofit exempt, you can't just receive money. You have to receive money for a very specific purpose and document it that that's how it was spent.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody just decided that they were going to overlook that in doing those reports, that they were not going to follow through with the proper procedure of reviewing those reports and, just they let it slip. But I'm sure that the slip was an intentional slip. It was intentional until it got caught somewhere, but otherwise, they had a gravy train going, man.
Right.
And they were going to get away with it. It's just simply called white privilege. You can't call it anything other than that, white privilege. Then, of course, I doubly dislike him for his comments, about brothers should just zip up and play football. That sounds like some of that old Mississippi racism stuff, because that's the most racist state in the United States in the era that we were fighting in civil rights. They were the most racist of all the states.
It's just like the reporter that told LeBron James, you need to shut up and dribble.
Yeah, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. When black people are doing anything that white folks think is anything other than playing ball, then we should zip up and be quiet. We do not have the right to offer a particular political critique or to say something is wrong when it is obviously wrong and immoral. Mm-hmm. And in this case, he was just straight up and down wrong. There was no way he could have been right. Just like I didn't like it when Drew Brees opened his mouth. I got really turned off for him about doing that because he didn't have to do that other than to satisfy white privilege.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did, and that's what Brett Favre did. So I think we have to see these incidences for what they're worth, call them for what they are, and demand some explanations. I don't think we should just be quiet and let them get away with what he's doing here. I think we should demand some public explanations using the appropriate procedures of complaint and questions to do it. But I think that this is one that should be reviewed and analyzed and investigated. Now, it's come before the Congress, so it's at another level, but there's another kind of politics that's going to happen there. But I do think that this is one that we should pursue to the maximum capacity that our justice organizations can pursue it, because this is a question of justice and injustice to have exploited children the way that he did,
right,
and to have taken pocket for his own personal interest the way that he did, and to support his friends and to support his child the way that he did. I mean, it's just such blatant, irresponsible injustice, man. It's just like the old days where white folks think they can do anything they choose because they are the law.
So let me ask you this, because I've noticed that you brought up this twice. Well, actually 3 times in the conversation just since we've been on. So I really want to get the opinion of you and your assessment of how this is going, because not only are you giving me an assessment of what's happening now, you're also using history and how it's been and how it's probably not only just in Mississippi but nationwide. It is, and I asked this question earlier. Is this? I think I asked Jazz the question. I said, "Is this a racial issue? Is that what's poking out, or is this a famous football player issue?"
This is a racial issue with a famous football player.
So a little bit of both.
But it's a racial issue. There's no way you can avoid it being a racial issue because of the whole context. Who did he take the money to supposedly help? The quote-unquote disadvantaged population. That meant black children in Mississippi.
Right.
I mean, that's racial in and of itself. But what categories of money did the money come from?
And it could have been another fund that they, if you really wanted to tap into another fund, you could have tapped into another fund instead of that fund.
Instead of that fund, sure. You tapped into a specific fund that was intended to be used in a specific kind of way that had both class and racial implications. Mm-hmm. There's no way you can get around the race question. Someone may say, well, it wasn't intentional, but it was structural.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't intentional, it was structural. The system allowed him to exploit the funds, to exploit the process, to take advantage of particular kinds of programs which had intended specific impacts for specific people of a specific race.
Right.
So you can't avoid that conclusion. You may say, oh, you all are always talking about race. You're damn right we are. For as long as others are exploiting us because of what they would call our race, or for as long as they're trying to take advantage of us, as long as they're trying to use and abuse us, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to stand up like men and women for our own humanity, because nobody else is going to do that for us. And we should never have to apologize because we stand up for ourselves. And if somebody don't like it, well, they can go spend their time in purgatory.
Right. Yes, indeed.
That's
Sitting
what
between
they can
you.
do.
Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
That's what they can do. So I think it's appropriate for the radio station to lift up these issues, because very few other places are going to lift those issues up with the kind of integrity that BOK attempts to do.
Mm-hmm.
One does not have to always agree with everything BOK does. The BOK is an investigative reporter station. It's not just a news station, but it's an investigative reporting station. It drills down in issues that are important to the African American public and the other rest of the public that oftentimes would go overlooked, and not paid attention to.
Yep.
And if that were not the case, we wouldn't know half the stuff that's going on around us in the city and the state, especially, that affects us as black people and that have injurious consequences for us, and nobody else is raising it. If there were not investigative reporting that's raising these issues to the surface. So I say you're doing the right thing. You're going to be criticized for doing the right thing.
Oh yeah,
But
that's
that's your job.
My
That's your
sarcasm,
job.
my sarcasm doesn't. It's not affecting me, Dr. Sanyiki. It go in one end, come out the other one. I just like bringing it up so those that are involved in what they think that they're making me the bad person or getting me in trouble with somebody. I just want them to know I really don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. I just bring it up and say something about it because that's
Well,
just
when
who
you're
I am.
doing that which is morally right in the interest of the human family,
Yeah.
your moral obligation is to continue to do the right thing.
Absolutely.
And if it pisses some people off, so be it.
Better to be
Let
pissed
them,
off than
let them
pissed
be
on.
pissed off. Yeah. Rather than be quiet and accept oppression, you're supposed to wage a fight. You're supposed to wage a struggle, and some people are going to be mad when you do that, G.
Yep, that is true.
So you're doing, your brother. Look, you're doing the right thing. This is a mild issue compared to some other issues you have raised.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Look, wait until the 3 o'clock hour.
It's a tea
We're
party.
going to play. We're going to play in the 3 o'clock hour the information
okay.
that we have, which was written by Puffy's wife. That
Oh,
automatic
goodness.
that she died. Remember, she died. So everybody
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
was there some foul play or something of that sort? Well, we have her memoir, and her best friend has recorded it, and we're gonna play it in the 3 o'clock hour.
Yeah, buddy. That's dicey.
Oh boy, when you hear some of the stuff in there, you're gonna be like,
That's
Gerard need to
dicey.
go ahead on and get him some security now. So, but look, feel better, my friend. I'm concerned when I hear your voice like this. That sounds to me like we gotta make sure you're getting stronger here.
Yeah, well, I'm doing that. I'm trying to get stronger, and I'm preparing for my sister's funeral in the city.
Yeah.
So keep me in your thoughts and prayers, my
Absolutely,
brother.
your whole family
And
in our
keep on.
prayers.
Thank you. Keep on pushing, man.
I
Keep
got
on pushing, and don't let nobody or
No.
nothing turn you around.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you much.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you
Peace.
later. All right. Not only that, but host station, on behalf of everybody here at Equity Media, we love Dr. Sanyik and what he contributes, and we want to make sure that we give him and his family our condolences. I also want to take a minute to say to our good friend and somebody that I know is a good person, that's Inga Barre. Her dad passed this morning. Inga Barre is Chief Barre over at the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office, and Phil Barre was also there prior to, but he lost his fight with cancer earlier today. So if you know Inga and Linda and all of her folks, Cindy, Bridget, and everybody else with the Flory family, I want you to know that we hear you. We hear you. Our prayers are with you as we say farewell to Phil Barre today. I know everybody know Inga as well. So yes, it is true that her father passed earlier this morning. All right, we got to take a break. We'll take the break here. We'll come back. Leroy, hold on. We coming back. Let me do this real quick here, and we'll get to your comments, too. More coming up, y'all, and you can get your comments in at 504-582-9422. More next.
Hey, New Orleans, Tavis Smiley here, inviting you to join me each weekday evening at 7 p.m. right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. for the Tavis Smiley Show. You can expect great guests and getting the answers you need to know. It's the Tavis Smiley Show on our new home in New Orleans, WBOK 1230 a.m.
Tavis Smiley. Ranked number 45 on the Heavy 100 list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America.
Every day, the RTA gets thousands of New Orleanians where they need to be. Whether you're headed downtown, the Ninth Ward, or Algiers, our buses, ferries, and iconic streetcars are going your way. Rolling with the RTA is a smart way to help you save money and the environment. Download the La Pass app today to plan your ride, get real-time arrival information, or make mobile payments. Because the RTA is how New Orleans rolls.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
WBOK and LCMC Health are proud to present the Keeping You Well Cafe, 60 minutes of LCMC Health, where doctors speak directly to the people of New Orleans. LCMC Health is committed to improving the quality of health care in the New Orleans area, the Gulf South, and beyond. The Keeping You Well Cafe is another way for LCMC Health to engage with the community. Over the next few months, LCMC Health will join WBOK and local businesses to answer your health and wellness questions. Through this partnership, LCMC Health will provide resources to the community, including subject matter experts from the hospitals that will share expertise on health concerns and wellness practices to help you live your best life. Tune in to WBOK during the last hour of the reality check, or catch us at lcmchealth.org and follow us on social media.
Discover the Leah Chase School, NOLA Public School's first new direct-run traditional public school in nearly 2 decades. We offer excellence in math, science, English, and social studies, focusing on unlocking every child's potential. Every scholar receives a personal device, regular assessments, clear family communication, as well as transportation services in a nurturing, arts-inclusive environment. Secure your child's K through 5th grade slot today. Apply at enrollnolaps.com and embark upon a unique educational journey.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
The power to the people, homie. That's my favorite part, Jazz. That's my favorite. Y'all wondering who that is? That is Jazz, y'all. That is Jazz that is doing that bumper music for the reality check. How long it took you to come up with that? Not long? That's just the creators.
You know what? I came up with that over the Night of the Storm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love it. I love the part. Well, homie had me singing it in my sleep.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, you know what? And shouts out to all of the other people that's been calling in and letting me know that they also enjoy the
they love it?
music. Yeah, people been calling since it's been playing.
Yeah, a couple people called me. It's like, who is that? I said, that's Jazz. That's Jazz, the rapper.
Yep, that's
They're like,
me.
Jazz the rapper. I said, yeah, that's Puffy's best friend.
No, it's
Jazz
not.
the rapper.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Never met the man. Never wanted to.
Yeah, you did.
No.
Take that.
No.
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 Are you listening to the
Yeah, I'm
What's wrong? What are you seeing that's wrong?
everything. Everything. And I gotta watch what I say because I don't want to be called anti-Puffy. But you know what? I am anti-Puffy.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
You know what? Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you're not.
I am anti-Puffy.
I'm the first
Man,
one to
this
say it.
dude here, this dude was wild.
So, but this is coming from his wife.
His wife
that ended up dead.
And
everybody was
wrote
trying to figure out how did she die.
And she wrote the book and said, if anything happens to me.
Yes. And this is her best friend who's reading the book and also telling the story about her son with Albie Shore.
Yep.
And how Albie Shore was also put in there.
Yep. Nah, that one that surprised me.
Yeah,
that one that surprised me. And that's what got me, like, I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, you really want to play this?
From the butt plugs on.
Oh man, that was I mean, I knew he was like, but
everybody just went, did he say butt plug?
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And it gets worse.
Yeah, it gets worse.
It gets worse.
We gonna.
Yeah, it gets worse.
We're
than
gonna have
that.
to probably cut some of it off.
Yeah, it gets. I mean, so I listened to it. There was actually no
cursing,
no FCC infractions.
Right.
But just the
graphic nature.
The graphic nature and the discussion and the descriptions.
So I'm glad you brought that up because I'm gonna warn people in advance.
Yeah.
That this is graphic, and if you if you're not strong enough to handle it, we understand.
Right, because I'm telling you right now.
This is a conversation piece.
Yes.
That everybody's having, but you have not heard it in these words as accounts.
And and here's the thing, because I had this conversation a few months back with one of my partners, right? And he didn't want to believe that what was going on was, I guess, I don't know, he Puffy partner of fan or whatever. But he couldn't believe it. He just thought that it was someone trying to get at Puffy, right? But
Puffy trying to get at them.
Yeah, I mean, I know there are those situations where people try and get at people because they rich or whatever, but there are rich people who do some atrocious, evil, foul, vile things.
And they're getting ready to hear it.
Yeah, and they just get a pass because we as people, definitely as Americans, value the wrong things. We value money and power over value and morals.
Well, everybody's going to be stunned when they hear this. So we'll probably be taking some telephone calls. We can't play the whole thing. I think it's about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half. And I am what?
But
like 16 minutes in, and it's a green light, but it's very graphic.
Yes. So, in the 3 o'clock hour, make sure that you are somewhere near because we will be playing it so that you'll be able to hear it. All right? All right, Leroy, thanks for holding, my friend. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you guys? Okay?
Good.
Okay, I'll make it fast. I just want to throw some points out there. Perhaps you guys have already mentioned the fact that Brett Favre got away really with some unimaginable things that he'd done. But I would only suggest that the U.S. Attorney General Garland would do a re-review of the decision that was handed down in Mississippi. At the same time, we must be reminded that the judges does have discretion in their sentencing situation. I do think it's extremely prejudiced decision that what was done. I can bring up one or two names. You may have already mentioned them. Irvin Mayfield had a mishap with a nonprofit. He went straight to jail. Michael Vick's, it was a dog situation. He went quarterback straight to jail. And so with this decision, Mr. Trump, it just really goes without saying, it's just abuse of authority and power that they won't even give him an ankle bracelet to say, at least we're going to let you check in with the probation and people with the feds once a week or whatever the case is. You outright letting him flow and do what he needs to do to win.
So let me
So,
start
yes,
from
it
the
is
beginning for a minute, and not to cut you off, but I want to make sure that you know this. Brett Favre was never charged with anything. He has never been charged with one thing. He did not go to jail. He did not go through any type of court appearances. He has never been charged. This has happened, and those folks that are involved or were involved with him, which her name is, what is the lady's name? Nancy New, who's the head of the nonprofit, and also the governor of Mississippi. He was never charged, but Nancy New was. But this has been going on, and Brett Favre was like, oh, I'll just take the money, yada, yada, yada. And instead of there being charges put against Brett Favre, he was told he just need to pay the money back. And they say, and they're still saying that he owes over $228,000 in interest. He went in front of the Ways and Means Committee, and then they're asking him about it. But he's talking about I took that money because I wanted this company to come forward and say that we have this new drug that's going to help with Parkinson's or CTE. And I'm like, wait a minute, what did that have to do with the welfare of underprivileged kids? Why did you all take that money from the welfare recipients or the folks that needed it the most and didn't come up with something else? Then, in the same case, I would say this, and then I'll be quiet, is the fact that they made it look like it was money that was being laundered by taking that money, sending it to a nonprofit, and then the nonprofit paying Brett Favre for speaking engagements that he never even went to.
Oh, okay.
So
misappropriation of funds.
Right.
Misappropriation of funds.
And you're a part of it. But they didn't talk to him about, they didn't charge him with anything, but they charged the lady with the nonprofit. She didn't steal the money. She accepted the money. To me, it had to do with the governor and Brett Favre because you were the recipient of the money. The lady, I don't know because, I'm not an attorney and I don't try to play one on the radio. But she looked like she was the money launderer.
Well, it may be perhaps, and I'm not giving him an out because, like I said, this whole situation is as prejudiced as the Star Spangled Banner as far as I'm concerned. But if she was supposed to make sure that those fundings, perhaps, and I'm not a scholar on the nonprofits, but she was supposed to make sure that this money was managed in a proper perspective. She gives it to Brett Favre. He says, well, there should have been a contract of sort between her, nonprofit, and Brett Favre to say these monies are allocated for this particular purposes. If you did not use those monies and you use them for something else, that's a misappropriations on your behalf as well.
No, sir. That money should have never gone to her and never should have gone to Brett Favre. That money was set aside money that is for the less fortunate. It had nothing to do with Brett Favre, had nothing to do with his daughter's volleyball, had nothing to do with this nonprofit. That money should have never went to either one of them because it was set aside from the federal government for less fortunate kids. It's a welfare program.
Okay, so that nexus for Brett Favre to this nonprofit, that money, maybe perhaps this is why they said, okay, the buck stops with the nonprofit. You gave this money to Brett, so now what you have to do, since you've been holding this money, is to return it, and then we're going to put as a penalty, we're going to make you pay interest on that. Now, that may be a creative sentence scheme that they use for that, but we'll never get away from the fact that this deal smells extremely racist, and the judge has the discretion to say, well, okay, you still have the money, okay, pay the money back, and then you're going to pay interest on that. And that is perhaps, I'm not a legal lawyer, but I paid some dues to say that, okay, give the money back and you're going to pay this penalty, which is the interest on it. Now, I'm not a legal scholar, such as you, but look into that and I'm saying, okay, well, that's a sentencing perspective that the judge was allowed to use, and has been used with blacks, African American perhaps as well. But all of what you're talking about, equal protections under the law, I've suffered that, so I understand that. And where somebody should be in jail or in prison, such as Donald Trump, he should be, I mean, at a stalemate at his home, ankle bracelet, put a little hilarity there, but he should be somewhere, and he should actually be in jail for 34 counts or whatever it is. He should be in jail.
So, Mr. Leroy,
right?
let me ask you this question, and
Sure.
I need your opinion on this. You know anybody that look like me and you that got this type of deal? I mean,
not at all.
Let's use your scenario. Let's say that the judge did say, okay, cool. This is what happened, so I'm gonna give you the opportunity to pay the money back, and yada 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 yada, as a part of your sentencing. But there is no sentencing because he never went to jail, and he never had to go in front of the courtroom.
Right.
So even though that you had a state auditor and a federal auditor that looked at this and said, this is wrong, this is against the law, and you have indicted the lady that was handling the money from the nonprofit. She's indicted.
Right.
And she's getting ready to plead guilty.
Right.
But nobody else, including the governor, has been indicted in this whole scenario. Do you know somebody that look like me and you that would,
No, I would have to kind of dig into the law books
get
and
into that type
do
of
some
privilege.
jeopardizing
That's what
and
I'm
come
looking
up
at
with the
more so
fact
than
that
anything else.
perhaps there were blacks, people who got a deal such as that. So for me to answer that, but I will say this, I've paid some dues in the federal system, right? And I've seen some misjustices, miscarriages of justice as well, and tried to look into certain things for people to see, well, this wasn't right or this wasn't right. So no, I don't look at people to say, okay, you got off with a fine. Yeah, perhaps they are. Yeah, perhaps they are. But this is such a sensational situation, being Brett Forbes, being a nonprofit, and the governor, as you suggested. But the buck stops at her. And it's because you were misappropriating these monies. You. So now you not necessarily Brett them has to fall on a sword. No, this is her sword to fall on. However, monies went towards Brett Forbes and the governor. So you participating in this, you're going to mismanage these money. Well, she gave us these monies for this use. Now she has to distinguish why I gave these people these monies to, for that particular purpose. If she could not do that, well, that's your sword. You fall on that. Now, Brett Forbes, you got money. You did receive them. Yes, I did. Okay, I received the money, and I was going to use them for these particular scientific purposes. Okay, yeah, but you weren't supposed to do that. You still have the monies. You haven't used them yet. Okay, return the fundings, and then we're going to penalize you for that. Now, like I said, to look at federal sentencing guidelines and all of these other things that they were subjected to, I don't have those books in front of me, but I will only say that the nexus was that the only connection was you gave him some money to use for a particular purpose. You didn't take it. When you got it, you were using it for this. You didn't tell you what you were using it for, actually what you were using it for. Your purpose was to use it for this.
So
now,
you do know what the purpose of the money was for, right?
I'm sorry?
I said you do know what the purpose of the money was for, though, right?
Well, no, I suspect that it was for a nonprofit for something for disadvantaged children or something.
No, sir, no, not at all. It was for a volleyball stadium for his daughter to be able to play in when she's in college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Again, once again, it's, maybe I'm wrong, but if somebody can look further, the nexus between the usage and she permitted this, and it's some contract somewhere, or you gave me the money to use it as I please. That's the evidence I would love to see. What did you give Brett Forbes this money for? If you're saying that I gave it to him for that particular purpose, or to use it for a nonprofit specifically, wherever you wanted to use it, that's what I'm saying. So that has to be connected.
So I'll read
even though it's Brett Forbes' daughter,
I
get that.
I'll read the story for you again so that you have a better understanding. I got what you're saying, and I agree with you if that was the case. and I got to say this, and I say this in all due respect, what how you're putting it, and what you're saying. I do believe if that was the case, yes, you are correct. But this ain't the case. So I want to read it so that you'll hear exactly what we went over earlier, so that you'll understand what that money was for. It was for the state of Mississippi, and it was to go to the welfare of children that are misfortunate, that don't have. That's what that money was for. The governor redirected these funds to this lady at the nonprofit so that millions of dollars would go to a southern Mississippi State, or southern whatever that is, of Mississippi, where Brett Favre went to college.
Right.
Because his daughter is going there too, and they need a new volleyball camp, a volleyball stadium. So $5 million was being redirected to Brett Favre by this nonprofit. So to me, in that same context, what we saw was there was a money laundering scheme to take that $5 million, send it to the nonprofit, and the nonprofit would pay Brett Favre to have a speaking type of engagement where he was going to these different places where they were paying him $500,000 and $600,000 to speak, and he wouldn't show up, and they still paid him. What does that tell you? That's money laundering. So they were not protecting these federal, what they call TANF, TANF funds, from fraud and abuse as the state of Mississippi. So I'm gonna read the whole story for you so you'll get it again, and then you're probably gonna call me back and say, okay, I got what you're saying now.
No. If I may, Gerard, I got it now.
Yeah.
I got it now.
And I heard what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. That's your scenario of what you had the understanding of.
Right. And I come in late. I must admit, I came in late when I heard this. I'm saying, well, here we go again with something. That's this misappropriation situation.
Yeah, trust me, there's plenty of people that come in late, and usually they get it wrong. And when they get it wrong, it ain't nowhere near what you just said to me. They been and said, you heard Gerard said da-da-da-da, and I'd be like, Lord, they came in late. But I needed to make sure that I do a better job and make sure you got the story.
Well, you did, and I should have stopped right here.
That's okay.
Is that I suggest
Mr. Leroy,
anyway that someone get in contact with the U.S. Attorney General and have them re-review the decision of that court. Because, I mean, he has that authority to prosecute, I guess, to come in and say, well, look, let me check this deal out and can take it back or, reject it on certain grounds.
And I just wanted you to understand that he had not been prosecuted in front of a court. There was no court for Brett Favre whatsoever. None.
Okay.
He has not been indicted, nothing. And this has been going on for years now. And everybody that, looking at this, I wanted to make sure that, they understood that, is this because of Brett Favre, because he's the famous football player, or is this privilege?
Privilege.
Both.
And and I would think that, and I'm going to say this and let you guys go. Thank you for taking my call, but I would go now to U.S. Attorney General Garland and ask for perhaps a re-review of this decision and why it went like that. Perhaps something can come from there.
Yeah, I got you. I appreciate the conversation, Mr. Leroy. Thank you.
No, thank you so much.
I appreciate
guys,
you again.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, 504-582-9422. Let me go over the story again because I wanted to make sure that everybody understand what it is. So what came out of Washington was retired NFL quarterback Brett Favre has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, but that's what he told a congressional committee on yesterday. Now, he made the disclosure as part of his testimony. Now, they wanted him to come in front of a committee and testify voluntarily. So he went voluntarily to testify in front of this committee. You know, when they ask you to come in front of a committee in Washington, D.C., you got two choices. You can come voluntarily, And if you don't come, then what you're going to end up with is somebody subpoenaing you to come in front of the committee. So they asked him to give his testimony about a welfare misspending scandal in Mississippi. He does not, let me make sure I say this, he does not face criminal charges and has repaid over $1 million in speaking engagement fees funded by a welfare program in the state and also an investor in a biotech company which ties to the case. The biotech firm has said that it was developing concussion treatments. Now, the former football star told the committee that he has lost his investment in the company and that he believed that he was developing a breakthrough concussion drug that would help others. And quotes here says, as I'm sure you'll understand, while it's too late for me, I've recently been diagnosed with Parkinson's. This is also a cause dear to my heart. What Parkinson's disease is unknown, and it's unclear if Favre's disease is connected to his football career or his head injuries. He said in 2022 that he estimates that he experienced thousands of concussions in his 2 decades in the NFL. He also appeared at the Republican-led House Ways and Means Committee hearing to advocate reform of the federal welfare system to better prevent fraud.
Crawfish.
Is it me?
Crawfish.
You are at the hearing to advocate for reform of the federal welfare system to prevent fraud. Is it me?
He is finding the smoothest way to back out of everything.
And want me indicted. Right. I'll put it to you in these because I have to be careful, or I'll get
Anti-quarterback.
I'm already let me see, I'm anti-Jew, anti-Asian, anti-Latino. What else am I?
Next, they're going to be like, you anti.
That too. I've been there already. That was first. I'm anti. That's like, take that. No. But I'm going to be anti-quarterback. The challenges, in quotes here, it says, the challenges my family and I have faced over the last 3 years because certain government officials in Mississippi failed to protect federal TAF funds from fraud and abuse and are unjustifiably trying to blame me. Those challenges have hurt my good name and are worse than anything I faced in football. He's blaming the folks that got him the money. But I'm trying to figure out, how can you blame these folks that got you the money when they're saying, hey, here's your payment for speaking engagements, but yet you don't even show up. So you're doing fraud too. House Republicans have said a Mississippi welfare misspending scandal involving Favre and others points to the need for an overhaul in the Federal Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program. That's the TANF program, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. If your money is coming from a program called TANF, wouldn't you want to know what it stands for? Temporary Assistance for Needy Families? And you're looking at the money coming from a TANF program and you're saying, let's build this here program. Let's build up this volleyball stadium. Favre said that he didn't know the payments he received came from welfare funds and was noted his charity had provided millions of dollars to poor kids in the home state of Mississippi and in Wisconsin.
Now, I got a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said he didn't know.
Right.
But if I'm not mistaken, doesn't this story say, like, he went to the well more than once?
What do you mean?
Like, wasn't that like 2 separate occasions that he got money from these people?
All right. So instead of the money going to low-income families in one of the nation's poorest states, as intended, this comes out of Jackson, Mississippi, by the way, it was funneled through a nonprofit group and spent on a new $5 million volleyball facility at the university that the football star and governor both attended. On the texts, they got text messages. So that's why a lot of people got to watch how they text folks. On text messages from 2017, it showed Republican Governor Phil Bryant, who left office in 2020, was, in quotes here, what they called on board with the arrangement. So somebody had to arrange something. The state is suing Favre and others, alleging that they misspent millions of dollars in welfare money. The director of the nonprofit pleaded guilty to criminal charges in Mississippi's largest public corruption case in decades. So how did she know? How did she know and you didn't know? When you in trouble, always say, I didn't know.
That's not true. That is absolutely not true.
I don't know.
It don't work for you and me.
I don't know.
It don't work for you and me.
What?
It don't work for you and me. I'm telling you, don't try it.
I didn't know.
Ignorance is not it. Ignorant.
I'm like Shaggy. It
wasn't me.
I don't know. I can't say I don't know.
No, you cannot.
Ask me a question.
This is a black man asking you a question. You can tell me you don't know.
Ask me
you can't tell. You can't tell the government of the United States of America.
Ask me a question.
What is your name?
I don't know. Ask me another question.
I don't even know what to ask you.
That's what day of the week it is.
What is today's day?
I have no idea. And I got one more. I got one more that I got to do. Not only do I not know, and I have no idea, I plead the fifth. Those are my three answers. I guess we all need to start learning. And then if somebody say, well, you can't say that, you can't say that. He did. It's in black and white. What's the difference? What's the difference?
Black and white?
No, don't answer that. What's the difference? I don't know. I'm just saying. All right, we got to take a break, y'all. More coming up, y'all. Get ready because this alarming memoir.
You know what, G? I think this memoir deserves a whole show.
So I shouldn't play it?
I think, honestly, because we've been making so many jokes about this whole Puffy situation for the past few months, I'm sure people are like wondering what's really going on.
I'm only talking about playing like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, but it's I'm telling you,
I know it's an hour and a half.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, 504-582-9422. Do y'all think we should play it? Guess what?
No, we should definitely play it. No, we should definitely play it.
No. I need you to answer the question.
I think you need a whole. Oh, I don't know.
Thank you. 504-582-9422. Should we play these little couple of minutes of it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
F-I-L. Phil. More coming up, folks. Everybody, hold on.
Find us online. Did you know that you can now listen to your favorite show whenever you want? How? Just go to www.wbok1230.com. Click on the Talk tab and select your favorite show. There you'll see your favorite host and the show from each day. And be sure to follow us on Facebook at WBOK1230AM, Instagram at WBOK.1230, and TikTok at WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back to school, families and scholars. NOLA Public Schools is excited to kick off another exciting year of learning, growth, and success. Our dedicated teachers have been preparing all summer to provide an engaging and enriching experience for every student. Let's embrace new challenges, celebrate achievements, and make this school year the best one yet. Stay connected with your school and NOLA PS by visiting our social media channels. Here's to a year filled with curiosity, creativity, and community. Attend today, achieve tomorrow.
September is National Recovery Month and time to celebrate the millions of Americans in recovery. Metropolitan Human Services District wants to remind you that treatment is effective and everyone can recover. If you are looking for a recovery program and you live in the Orleans, St. Bernard, or Plaquemines Parish, visit mhsdla.org or call 504-568-3130. Recovery is possible, and MHSD is here to help. Metropolitan Human Services District, where we change lives.
Fried chicken isn't just food, it's a feeling. The National Fried Chicken Festival presented by Raising Cane's brings people together, and it's fried fun for everyone. Join us October 5th and 6th at the New Orleans Lakefront. Get your tickets today at friedchickenfestival.com.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 1230 a.m. on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
Every day, the RTA gets thousands of New Orleanians where they need to be. Whether you're headed downtown, the Ninth Ward, or Algiers, our buses, ferries, and iconic streetcars are going your way. Rolling with the RTA is a smart way to help you save money and the environment. Download the La Pass app today to plan your ride, get real-time arrival information, or make mobile payments. Because the RTA is how New Orleans rolls.
Hello, I am Bishop Fred A. Caldwell Sr., host of the Know Your Bible International radio broadcast, which is heard here on WBOK 1230 a.m. each Sunday morning at 8 o'clock a.m. So join me here for a blessing, won't you?
I see the Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. 504-582-9422 is my number. Before we even get into the conversation, on a serious note, I need to take a moment to say my condolences again. Man, it seems like everybody's leaving out of here for let you know, boy, we living on borrowed time. My condolences to a lady that I call Mama. I call her Mama all the time. Her sister passed, Miss Lena Stewart's sister passed, Miss Celestine passed, and we want to send out our condolences to Lena Stewart, who is one of the most important people in city government. She works out of Oliver Thomas's office. So for Miss Lena, our prayers to you and your family. I know that she's in a better place. So Linda Lewis called me and said, that's what's happening. So I said, okay, we got to make sure that we take care of Mama. So to Mama Stewart, our prayers are with you, and God bless you. Here. All right, so coming up at the top of the hour. Bro, you are really in contemplation. I wish you could see your face. You are really in contemplation. What are you contemplating?
Whether I should say this or not.
What? Go ahead.
Some people need killing.
Yeah, you should have kept just contemplating. Just said this. No. So, are you putting him in this? I should have just said
and what? You know what? I'm gonna just say this: pedophiles, rapists, Puffy. Some people need killing.
I knew you were gonna have a problem with this.
You're damn right I got a problem with
I knew
this.
you were gonna have a problem with it.
Yeah.
But I need you on my side for a minute. I ain't making this up.
No, you're not making this up. And it's something that I've been knowing for years before this. Like, everybody's shocked right now, but I'm a musician.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I be joking with you. I know about the parties too. I'm in that world, but no, I've been knowing about the puffy parties for decades. It's just that, how can you? Like I always say, Americans, we value the wrong thing.
Yeah.
As long as you got money and power, oh, that man ain't doing nothing. Look at how upstanding that man look. He put on a suit, he put on a smile. He ain't nothing but a devil in Gucci.
All right, folks. We're going to play a little bit of it. Because Jazz got a real problem with this.
Because, like, he be playing with people's careers. Like, not only is he doing foul stuff, but he be playing with people's careers.
Yeah. All right, so get on Facebook Live. I'm telling you now, call somebody and tell them this is the memoir from his ex-wife before she passed. More coming up after news, y'all.
Have you heard the secret of what New Orleans is talking about? I promise everything will be okay if you're listening here on the airwaves. It's that WBOK 12:30 a.m.
WBOK 12:30 a.m. New Orleans, home of the reality check, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. North Carolina's Republican Lieutenant Governor is hiring a law firm to investigate the CNN report accusing him of making lewd and inflammatory comments years ago on an adult film website. Mark Robinson is accused of making the post in the message board of a website called Nude Africa. The Greensboro native reportedly referred to himself as a black Nazi and supported bringing back black slavery. Robinson announced that he has hired the Banal Law Group to look into the report. He reiterated that the claims from the report are salacious lies. A face-off continues between Thornton, Illinois Township trustees and Supervisor Tiffany Henyard. Trustees called on Henyard to be more transparent with her spending while claiming funds are being spent on items that were not approved by the board. The board did approve an audit going back 3 years, which was when Henyard was appointed. The supervisor, who is black, is currently under investigation over her handling of village finances while also serving as mayor of Dolton, Illinois. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Celebrating hardworking teachers of New Orleans Public Schools is what we do best. Join New Schools for New Orleans, Allstate, Sugar Bowl, and Integer New Orleans in recognizing and celebrating the Teachers of the Year at our 3rd annual New Orleans Excellence in Teaching Awards Gala. If you want to check out the awardees in the schools where they teach at, please visit noeta, noeta.org. You can also purchase tickets to the gala via the website too. Let's send these teachers some love for all the hard work they do with our students.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks. Welcome back. I'm sorry. I can't. I really don't feel. I really just didn't even want to look up right there, and you looking at me like this.
Because it's time. It's time for it to happen. People, go get your popcorn. Go get your snacks. I'm gonna just let you know right now.
Butt plugs and all of that.
I'm just see. You ruined it. You ruined it already. You too fast. I was about to tell the people go get their snacks, but I was gonna give a public service announcement.
Oh, you gonna give one?
And suggest that no one get chocolate.
Hold on.
Don't get chocolate. Don't get chocolate. Don't get no Snickers. Don't get no don't get no Snickers. Don't get no Milky Way. Don't get no Three Musketeers. Don't get don't get no Kit Kats. You don't want nothing like that.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
I'm saying you might be good with sour Skittles or
No, they ain't gonna be
something like that, but then you might not even be wanting to taste the rainbow when it comes to this story. You might not be wanting to. Pac didn't want to taste the rainbow.
That was too easy. I had a joke right there.
I'm sure.
I had a
sure.
real big joke there.
Not wanting to taste the rainbow is a joke in itself.
I'm trying not to, bro. You got too many jokes too. All right, so let me tell everybody. You're going to be stunned. Appalled, stunned,
grossed out, nauseous,
and even from the names that are being called, especially for this few minutes that we're gonna play.
Yeah, you're gonna be shocked by some of the names. But I'm gonna tell you you're gonna be shocked by some of the names, but the names on this list are low fruit.
On this list,
the ones that you're gonna hear, that's still low fruit, low hanging fruit. They got names that's way up above that, you know.
All right. So let me give the disclaimer for the radio station that if you are afraid of any of the shocking issues that may come up here, I'm going to tell you may want to cut your radio down. And I will also say that for your children, this is nothing for them to hear. So other than that,
and it's definitely sexual in nature.
Yes.
So
there's no ifs, ands, and buts.
No if.
I did not mean it that way, bro. I don't even know why you stopped. Why did you stop? Because you thought I meant it that way. This is nothing that nobody would really want.
I mean, it's this type of story.
Yeah.
Like there's very little that you can say that can.
That can even top the shot.
No, you just gotta. This is one of them that it's like this. The disclaimer for the book itself, is shocking.
Yeah.
Just the disclaimer, people.
Yeah. The disclaimer for us is that we need to make sure that you're listening because you really want to hear this, and I'm hoping that we're talking about ears that are mature in nature, not those that are minors. If you are near a minor that can hear this conversation, I'm going to ask you as a radio host and a parent to turn your radio or turn it down. Now, you imagine if you got somebody that's trying to get you to listen, that is trying to tell you if you have children in the car or anywhere near the radio that they need to not listen. All right, here we go.
Sudden death and the mysterious illnesses of Albie Shore and Jamie Foxx, evidence does exist that points to foul play and or poisoning. God bless Kim Porter and all of Sean Combs' victims, both male and female. Okay, that is page 1 disclaimer. So let's get into chapter 1, introduction. Soon after high school, I started landing modeling jobs. I couldn't believe it. It was all happening so fast. I met my husband, father of my oldest child, and one of my oldest friends in life, Albie Shore. It was a whirlwind romance. I was only 19 when we married, and no, it didn't work out. Al is still one of my best friends to this day. Our son Quincy is such a talented and wonderful young man. At that time, I had no idea my relationship with Al was going to introduce me to the man that I would spend the better part of my adult life with, a man whom I would love and cherish, but eventually fear and hate. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I will say, although I knew what was going on, I turned a blind eye many times. Here I have to tell this truth. Unfortunately, because deep down I knew everything that was happening, but I lied to myself a lot. He was so charming, a wolf in sheep's clothing, a devil, and I fell for it. This story must be told despite the fact it will hurt my children. I cannot hide it any longer. Sean Combs must be stopped. Chapter 2. Humble beginnings. I was born to loving parents Jake Porter and Sarah L. Porter in the Peach State of Georgia. All through Columbus High School, when I graduated in 1988, I knew I was going to be famous. In the 10th grade, one of my best friends, Tina, said to me, "You won't make it here in Georgia." I knew if I really wanted to be famous, I would have to leave my hometown and my home, Georgia. That conversation was so important, so I look back now. It changed my life. I met Al while I was working in the industry. He was so dope and charming, and I had such a crush on him. We were married before I knew it, and Quincy was on the way, but I was young, and it felt like it wasn't going to last. It was a little heated between us after we separated, but we got past that quickly. He is just a super dope guy and an amazing father. Though we separated, we were forever bonded through Quincy. Thank you, Al. I will always love you. When I met Sean, he was cool. I didn't think much of him at the time. He was just another guy at the label. Uptown was huge and we were all living our best life. But Sean continued to lay on the charm, and before I knew it, we were dating. As a young single mom at one of the hottest companies in the world, life couldn't get any better. Then it did. My boyfriend was getting even bigger. Sean does seem like the type that can charm you, like, man, he is so cool, until he lets the demons out. Let's continue. He and Clive would hang out a lot, but I didn't think anything of it. I mean, that was his boss, and he was doing things bigger than most men dare to even dream. I did a video talking about Clive and the other men that mentored Diddy. And you guys should check it out. I think I'm going to put it in the description of this video. Then it happened. I mean, okay, I was a little bit of a freak. I really enjoyed myself with my partner. And toys are one thing, but I never imagined having a man I was dating asking me to use a toy on him. The first time he said he just wanted to experiment, try something new, I was grossed out, but he kept begging. He said it would only be this one time, and he was just curious. I was only 20 at the time. I said, what the hell? I hated it. He bled from it, and there was ish on it. I left him alone after that. Chapter 3. Second chances. Sean kept reaching out, and I kept ignoring his calls. Eventually, in a few weeks, we ran into each other at an event. He came over and sat next to me. We were cordial. He flattered me, saying, "You look so amazing." I replied with a simple, "Thanks, Sean." I tried to get up and leave, but he pulled my arm. As I turned to him, he looked deep into my eyes and said, "Look, what happened between us was weird, but I really care about you. Can we?" He paused, and I tried to use this as an attempt to escape. I pulled my hand back and said, "Sorry, Sean, I have to go. Please, I think I'm falling in love with you. Can we talk?" My breath was taken away. Did he say he loved me? It was so fast. I wasn't aware of this as his manipulation tactic, not yet. God, I was so young, so naive. He continued, "Let's have dinner." And I felt for it. 2 days later, we went out for drinks at a lounge in Lower Manhattan. The place was nice. Sean was really coming up and pulling out all the stops to impress me. He pulled the chair out for me to sit. Back then, he was always a gentleman. He smiled and said, "Look," as he sat across from me, "I hated it. I never want to do it again. Give me another chance." Over coffee the next morning, I decided to give him another chance. For the next year and a half, things seemed pretty normal. It was fun, things were going great, and we were living the dream that I dreamt about throughout my youth. Sean and Clive were working on Bad Boy, and he had his first couple artists. He picked up Craig Mack, then some rapper from West Coast called Notorious B1, to help Chris develop. He was collaborating with the biggest names in hip-hop to make it happen. Things could not be more amazing. Then he asked me to do it again. It was insane. Sean said, "Baby, I can't stop thinking about it. What the hell are you talking about? I responded. Sean continued. I just can't stop thinking about that night. It was amazing. Can you screw me one more time, please? I became infuriated. Why don't you go to Clive? He is the one screwing you, isn't he? Then Sean hit me. This was the first time he slapped me hard. Before I could form words, he began to beg, I'm sorry. Holding my cheek where he hit me, I turned and ran off. That should have been it, but I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. He sent flowers and a bunch of expensive gifts. Then we bumped into each other at another industry event. He sat down next to me. This was deja vu. Sean started, imagine running into you here. Get the F away from me, I forced out. He became more serious as he said, look, baby, I'm sorry. But I just glared at him. There is nothing you could ever say to me, nothing. After an awkward silence, he finished. You know I love you. I love your son. He's my son. I don't know how to fix this, but I'll do anything. I'm sorry. Ish, he can be so sweet. Here we go with the love thing. This time is not falling in. He was great with Quincy, and to be honest, despite everything, I missed him. As he stood to walk away, I remember hearing myself say, call me later. What the F is wrong with me? Chapter 4, Forgiveness. Sean arrived with flowers in hand. He wanted to see Quincy. He was so good with him. And Quincy ran over to hug him. I felt my heart melting. He asked Quincy, how you doing, Tiger? Quincy looked so innocent as he responded, I'm good, I miss you. Sean's response sounded genuine. I miss you too. We'll hang out tomorrow, okay? Okay. Sean gave him a little love tap on the butt. It's bedtime, Quincy replied. Okay, good night, as he turned to head towards his bedroom. Here was the man I fell in love with, but what was I thinking? Ish, not only does he want butt plugs, he slapped the ish out of me. So why am I still talking to him? They say that love is blind, but is it stupid too? As Quincy left, Sean looked at me and smiled. Baby, let's go have some fun. The babysitter's on the way. I just want to show you a good time. I was so mad at myself for melting as I said, okay. We sat on the couch laughing and genuinely having a good time when the doorbell rang. The babysitter had arrived, and so we left. As we exited the house, a big man climbed out of the limo and opened the door for us. He wore a sharp suit with a gun noticeably tucked under his arm. I thought to myself, he could have made it invisible. Or did he want me to see it? Despite my reservation, Gene was a sweetheart. He was very courteous and polite. As he tipped his head and said, good evening, ma'am, Gene drew a smile out of me as I responded, hello. Gene and I would see each other a lot after this day. Chapter 5, Sean kneels. The year passed, and thankfully we didn't have many bad arguments. Although Sean was strangely getting into voodoo, he would put curses on people, and I wasn't sure how to respond to that craziness. My problem as a single mother was I wanted to be married. He always had excuses and delays when it came to committing to marriage. His label was blowing up. Biggie dropped, and it was just about over. He also signed Mary J. Blige, and of course, when I found out he slept with her, we fought. He claimed it was a mistake, and my stupid ass took him back again. Sean asked me for a threesome with her. At first, I was mad, but Mary was beautiful. It was our first threesome, and I loved it. Mary was sexy. I would not be doing this a lot, but it was so hot. I was young, and exploring my sexuality was enticing. Over the years, we brought other women into our bedroom periodically, and we were happy. This is until one day I came home to a situation that went from awkward to a nightmare. Quincy was with the babysitter, and Sean was sitting with Albie Shore at the dinner table. I had a child with Al, and Sean was the father in Quincy's life. The awkwardness of all of us being together had dissolved a long time ago, but it was still weird that they were here in my home together alone. I sat down and we had drinks. It was fun. The conversation was cool until it wasn't. Al was a little loose after a couple of drinks. I remember him saying, "It's still weird seeing you with my friend, but you're happy, so I'm happy for you guys." Sean responded, "Thanks, man. Me and you, we've shared so much." Al replied coolly, "Word." The conversation took an odd and awkward turn when Sean said, "We all been together sexually, but not together." I was shocked for a moment. As quietness lingered in the room, I asked, "What do you mean by all together?" Al shifted uncomfortably, but Sean didn't hesitate. "You know how we sometimes invite other people into our bed?" I couldn't believe it. "Oh, hell no, Sean. This is my son's father." "Al, say something." What Al said was mind-boggling. "I don't know. It could be kind of hot. I miss you in that way." Although I couldn't believe Sean would do this, the truth was I still cared about Al, and this could be very hot. I just didn't want it messing up my relationship, and if things became awkward, how would it affect Quincy? So I asked, "Are you both sure?" I imagined both of them inside me. I knew this would be awkward sexually. There would be some bumping of genitals, but what happened next, I couldn't have imagined in my wildest dreams. Al, and then it's X'd out, so I don't know what Al did. I couldn't believe it. I stood there in shock, but when I saw Sean, I ran out of the room. This is too much. I couldn't. Sean called out to me, "Oh, come on, Kimmy." They didn't chase after me. And it's X'd out. So Al took the initiative. Jeez Louise. Let's go on. I couldn't get the image out of my mind.
That's the part that really got me, bro.
Al? That's the part that got you?
Well, butt plug too.
I mean, I was surprised when I heard about Al, but I was like, "Oh, okay. You are all from that family up there." So.
Take a break. Open up telephone lines to 504-582-9422. More coming up.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tony Flowers, Chief Diversity and Social Responsibility Officer at LCMC Health, and I want to bring you 5 tips to know for a great medical appointment. Number 1, know your questions. Make a short list of your most important questions and bring that with you to your appointment. Number 2, know what's being said. Ask your provider to speak in plain language, not those big long terms. Number 3, know the wellness plan. Ask your provider to explain the plan for your care in 3 simple steps. Number 4, know why the plan is important. Ask your provider to explain what will happen if you forget to follow the plan. And number 5, know your medications. Ask these questions to understand your medication. Why am I taking this? How will it help my condition? What time should I take it? What will happen if I miss a dose? We want you to build a great partnership with your providers and be in the know about your health. This is brought to you through a partnership of LCMC Health and the New Orleans Health Department. Be in the know.
Every day, the RTA gets thousands of New Orleanians where they need to be. Whether you're headed downtown, the Ninth Ward, or Algiers, our buses, ferries, and iconic streetcars are going your way. Rolling with the RTA is a smart way to help you save money and the environment. Download the La Pass app today to plan your ride, get real-time arrival information, or make mobile payments. Because the RTA is how New Orleans rolls.
Hey folks, it's Dr. Shepherd. You know me, I've got something special for you. Write this number down, 504-858-4696. That number is for you if you're having hair loss issues, no matter what the issue may be. It's for an all-natural ingredient formula derived by my mom, a pharmacist, in 1971. And trust me, it works. Give us a try. You can get your hands on it right now. Call 504-858-4696.
Talk That NOLA Education is all about awareness. Join Dr. Jaquil Ross from New Schools for New Orleans to learn about Thrive Kids, a student wellness program created at Children's Hospital and in partnership with NOLA Public Schools. Tune in for Talk That this Monday at 12:30 p.m. on 12:30 a.m.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
I'm telling you, that's my favorite part. Homemade. Every time I do it, I be like. So we're gonna make a EP out of it.
I hear you.
You come up with the rest of the words. I'm a producer like Puffy.
All right.
Be like, what you doing later tonight?
No.
We going in the studio, bruh. So let me ask you this: you believe it?
Do I believe it?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, I believe it. Without a doubt.
Why so?
Because I've heard some other stories. Like private, like person to person. Like I've heard them do some stuff to other people. Like people that's auditioning. Make them sing things topless.
Really?
Yeah. A young lady had to sing Orange Juice Jones, Walking in the Rain, topless.
I found you, jiggle, jiggle, walking in the rain.
Did you say no?
Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. That's terrible.
He's an awful guy.
Yeah, it's terrible. You believe him, though. You believe it. I was looking at some of the comments from folks. I know I saw a couple up there, and I know what I was looking at was something too that I would say folks are going to start questioning the authenticity of this. But somebody asking me, and I mean, it gets worse as we go. I'm just saying that's what we could play today.
Oh yeah, no, it gets way.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half.
It gets way worse.
Yeah, I would tell anybody this is an hour and a half. But do you believe it too? So 504-582-9422.
You got Brian online.
Okay, what you say, Brian?
Hello,
Brian, what you say?
how y'all doing, man? I heard. I was listening to that, man. I've been paying attention to the whole deal, especially like his former security guard, Gene Deal, has been saying a lot of this stuff for the past few years. That people looked at him like he was crazy, but now it seems like that some of it is true, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing we all knew, that the homosexual community had a stronghold in the music industry. But now it seems like they're being exposed. Even in gospel, we know the Martin McGarty, the greatest singers, have been people that live on that side of the fence.
I would say too, you're right, but go to the church too, because the choir directors in some of these churches are.
Yeah, my whole life that was almost like a
that's a known deal,
unwritten thing. But you know, their lifestyle is they make more money, and their lifestyle spreads over. Because like what Jazz was saying, and Puff, the thing about it, he had some hierarchy type people, man, like senators, and this is going to. You think this is a distraction from the election? I don't know what's going on. It's coming out at one. Even not to cut myself off. When Cassie was caught, when Cassie stole the information and gave it up, T.D. Jakes' name came up. The FBI, the initial investigation, T.D. Jakes' name was on the paperwork.
Yeah, you're not lying.
As a participant.
Yep.
So wow, that sex tape is going to set the internet down. So many people that told me how they changed their life and all that. They is so quiet now.
And look,
I'm loving it.
Look, B, it ain't no one tape. Cassie said, the wife said
that's in the
she ran across a safe full of of just full of just his
housing.
Full of just of his men.
Right.
But man, this dude was doing so much. He had a sex ring. He had illegal liquid cocaine and all that. But he hold a ransom over the whole industry and the political scene with that. I think this is their way to try to get revenge on him, because he can expose some people that don't want to be exposed, especially T.D. Jakes. I might have did something. You put it on the blood of Jesus. Everything on the blood, huh? Yeah. I can't wait. Oh, Lord, I can't wait for him. He deserves it. And anyone like him. Just think about my grandma and all them other people gave their life up and sold out to them preachers that ain't worth a damn, bro. I love it.
So here's my analogy. I don't know, but this is my analogy.
Yes.
I really feel there's too many people that have a lot of power and a lot of money that ain't willing to fall on that sword.
I know it.
We gonna find out that Puffy done hung himself in jail.
That what they did Epstein. Everybody.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Somebody gonna get to somebody in that jail.
Boy, they got some FBI guys getting ready to retire. I know that much. Whoever got the video, whoever actually had the physical video evidence is damning. T.D. Jakes, S&D. Man, that's a damn shame. Thank you.
All right, B.
So that's the funny thing. As soon as I heard T.D. Jakes was at a Puffy party, it didn't matter which party it was. That don't add up to me, brother.
What do you mean? An industry party?
T.D. Jakes at a Puffy industry party.
It does. It does. Now, let me tell you why. Because I've been to a Puffy industry party. Now, no freak out party.
Yeah, I understand.
In the realm of entertainment, you got to remember something. This is not only just the music mogul. We also have somebody that's the owner of Revolt, which is a TV company.
Multifaceted guy.
Right, multifaceted. So you're bringing all of your stuff to an industry issue. You bring in Bad Boy, Revolt, all your industry stuff to the table. If T.D. Jakes goes to an industry party and trying to get a release of a film to go on Netflix or to go on National Geographic or to go on BET, T.D. Jakes is there.
Yep, I understand that.
And more than likely, what he did was stop by one. Now, hold on.
Hopefully. I'll go with that one.
Man.
I'll go with that one.
But I will tell you that he has been on his own social media as well as his own broadcast, saying that all that's lie. I'm just saying what he said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect him to say anything else, and I hope it's a lie.
I do too, because there are too many folks that follow behind the Potter's House, that follow behind T.D. Jakes Ministries. And if you've ever been to the Potter's House, I would tell anybody, when you walk in the door, you are in awe, because that is one huge church. It holds 8,000 folks just downstairs. You know?
Which is more of a reason for me to hope that this is all a misunderstanding.
So I'm not surprised that if T.D. Jakes was seen at a Puffy party, that he was seen there, because it's an industry. It's usually an industry. I used to go to this industry party all the time, It was called Summit, SUMMIT, the Summit Power Party. As a matter of fact, I got awarded at several.
That's like a conference, right?
It's a conference.
Yeah.
So I got awarded at some of them. Best program director, best radio station, top 10, something. One of the most powerful people in radio on a national level. Not while I was working here. This was when I was working for Clear Channel. And I got awarded by Billboard magazine. And I'm not bragging or anything of that sort. I'm just telling you that's my career. And I've seen T.D. Jakes at several of these different places. You know, not because he wanted to go in and go, what, you know, and start dancing. It was because they were walking him through. And he was saying hello and standing in front of the, they have the big picture boards, you know, so you bring them in to take the industry photos and things of that sort. So he's always at those different things.
I mean, I understand. I'm just saying the temperature of the world today is not
That's
very
different today.
It's not as friendly to lending towards spiritual leaders
At all.
being at or around or related to the sexual deviance of the world.
I tell you somebody else that was always at these industry parties. Kurt Franklin. But Kurt Franklin was a recording artist as well.
I could see that.
What's the lady? I'm trying to think. She was a morning show gospel host on a national level as well. But she came down here and did one of my Teen Summit programs. Well, we had all the booty shaking and everything else going on. But she came down here and hosted it. Because in the big picture, what she was doing, and I'm not taking up for anybody. I'm just telling you that that's how it is. She ain't crazy. She know her audience and who she got to get to. Whether they booty shaking or whether they walking around with the skirts all the way down to the ankles, don't matter. And her deal to me has always been, I can get to them as well as the saved Christian folks as well. I can get to them too and have a conversation with them. And let me tell you, that lady sat on the edge of that stage on Teen Summit and had a conversation with these little 10, 15-year-olds, and they were paying attention to her. So just because you're at something, I want to see the tape of what he did.
Oh, they got it.
You know who?
Oh, they
else?
got it.
You know who else is saying? Beyonce.
Oh, yeah.
Usher.
Oh, yeah. Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, all of them. Usher, I don't even want to go into that story. He had to go to the hospital, supposedly.
He had to go to the hospital?
Yeah.
I ain't hear that part.
Yeah.
I did not hear that part. I need to go back and listen?
Yeah. No, this isn't another story.
No, it's another story. You got
the same story, but from a different person.
You gotta tell me after I get out there.
Yeah.
Don't tell me why I'm on the air, bro.
Yeah, nah, because that's.
I know Usher's mama.
Yeah.
And
I ask her, call and ask her.
You know I call.
She knows.
Mm-hmm. So there is a part of this that I need to get into as far as the conversation. Number one, we're not gonna play no more of it right now. Not right now.
No. Nah.
You gonna play some tomorrow?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. This one here.
That was light.
That was light
compared to
the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the rest of it is gonna make people start questioning people and thinking about things, and I think it's a very good topic of discussion, not just because it's Puffy and it's that situation, but to attack the state of our mind frames, just in general, just so we could talk about, first of all, who made this level of this acceptable.
So let me get into something real quick, because you ever read the book Hitman?
No.
I'm going to tell anybody that gets the opportunity to. There's a book. I forgot the author. I need to pull it up. The name of the book is called Hitman. The book tells you about the records and radio industry. I don't want anybody to ever think that this is such a great business that, you know, you one-hit wonder, you get up in there and make a whole bunch of money and da-da-da-da. Mm-mm.
No.
This book gives you an idea of some of the people, some of the organizations, some of the mafia figures, and how the record and radio industry was used in earlier days. I'm gonna say earlier days, not right now, but it's probably the same. And me explaining this, you know, makes me wanna, when I leave here, look around the corner before I leave, because it's for true that a lot of these organizations, I say crime or criminal organizations, help start up record companies to help them launder money. You would have double books. They would use money that they had funded different people to do not only just laundering, but have double books and use them for bank loans. So if I wanted to show you that you're as an artist, that I don't owe you any money, you owe me money, I could also loan shark you. Meaning that even though that you made several $1 million for the company, they'd tell you that you didn't make nothing and have double books. And then those artists that signed to a lot of these labels, they would sign to these labels not knowing the business of the label, meaning you don't have no way to track your sales. You didn't know anything about, you know, you're thinking that you're getting advances of, I signed you, let me give you this car, let me give you this $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 cash. Let me give you that just because you're a great person. And a lot of these kids get caught up into that. And when their records don't sell a whole bunch of money, the record company comes back to them and say, you got to pay me back my money. And so now you have to sign your life away because you have a bank loan that, you know, they ain't scared to hold you outside of a window and dangle you upside down. What was the name of that movie Big Red was in? What was the name of that?
5 Heartbeats.
That's 5 Heartbeats?
My office hours.
My office hours. Repeat after me. My office hours, as you hanging out a window upside down by your feet on the second floor, my office hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So you would have that type of organization, and then, you know, you they ain't scared of walking around with baseball bats to beat you up when you don't give them what they need. So you had a loan sharking organization that was telling you that you could never pay them back, but you needed to pay them back. They give you $75,000 and tell you you ain't selling no records, and that you now owe them $75,000 with interest. Well, they never told you that the interest was 400%. So guess what? You know, the only way that you're going to be able to pay that back is to go back into the studio and record another album and give it to them. You might have a multi-million-dollar selling album and you're getting nothing out of it. And you wonder how these different things happened. Those are the types of things that went on in our industry. And what was really stupid in those days Well, I won't say it was stupid. It was dangerous. That's a good thing to call it. And it boiled over in today's industry is the fact that we had folks like Barry Gordy. We had a lot of those folks, not a lot, but a lot of those artists that were that were getting their fair share of their monies, but were going out here thinking that they were the best thing since Swiss cheese and getting on drugs and getting these folks in their ear and not taking care of one another and dying from drug overdoses and selling their souls to folks that didn't give a damn about them. It not only happened in the radio industry and television industry, it also happened in the movie industry. And I can tell you that it happened today. Do you all understand that documentary that they just did on Wendy Williams, that everybody wanted to know what happened to Wendy Williams? When was that? That was last year? Was that last year or the year before last? I think that was last year. I think that's what it was. That they promoted and put out there this documentary about what happened to Wendy Williams and why she rose so high, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, she is in some type of home and nobody can see her, and then had people that were in charge of her every move. They even had charge of her monies. Do you all know that they just reported that the producers of that documentary made millions off of that documentary? And they said they only paid Wendy Williams somewhere between, I think they said $30,000 to $80,000. That's it. While the producers of that made millions. But she's the person that the documentary is on. Good grief. So, from what I understand, Jazz, now this is what I understand too, that the way that some of these producers had gotten some of their artists is that they had them financially. I give you a certain amount of money, jewelry, and all this other stuff that you can't pay for. You walking around with a Bad Boy chain on. Now you part of Bad Boy. Oh, you thought he gave you that? No, you got to pay for it. And you can't pay for them diamonds. You don't have no money. So your way of payment is to come in here and do this free album. Oh, we're going to invite you to the party. You come in the party, they spike your drink or get you all messed up, and next thing you know, you on film somewhere, and they got it locked up in a safe. It wasn't just the artist, bruh. Let me say that again. It won't just the artist. Let me say it one more time. It won't just the artist. There's some folks that all of us know. It was not just the artist. And if I needed something, this dude was so conniving to the point where he would put together, I'm going to invite you to my party, and have some of the baddest women that you could possibly think, oh, bruh. There was some of them, I was like, who made you? When they made you, they broke the mold, baby. I went to some of them parties. I never got caught up in that crap because I ain't trust nobody. I ain't trust nobody in the industry. Nobody.
Nah, the industry is very untrustworthy.
Bruh, this is the most fickle type of industry that you could ever be in because everybody wants to be a star. Everybody wants to be important. Everybody wants to be something, and they will screw you to the
And
that's a bad word to use.
Yeah,
They will screw you as quickly as they possibly can to get that, and don't give a damn about you. Man, when I was in charge of 6 radio stations, I had everybody calling me every day. Hey, man, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing? They ain't calling, checking on me. They want something. When I was fired, when I was let go, to this day, I don't hear from none of them people. I'm fine with that, though. All them people say, you my brother, I'm your brother. And I don't hear from them. I saw a couple of them at Essence. They were like, man, where you been? I was like, shut up. My number ain't changed. Just shut up. Get away from me. I don't talk to you. I can do bad by myself. More coming up, folks. We'll take a break.
Hey, this is D. Riley from the 90s Hits R&B Jams. Make sure you listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday night from 7 until 9 p.m. I'll be giving you the best R&B jams from the 90s. That's right, all your favorites and more. With me, D. Riley, your host of the 90s Hits, right here on WBOK 1230 AM. Or listen online at WBOK1230.com. WBOK, the station you listen to longer.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
As the city of New Orleans prepares to host the 2025 NFL Super Bowl, Homeland Security is preparing federal, state, and local law enforcement officials for an unexpected influx of human traffickers. While the Super Bowl and other large events are known for festive events, often broadcast on air, Homeland Security officials say there is a darker side connected to these events, the trafficking of humans for sexual exploitation. Human trafficking is any form of recruitment, obtaining, transferring, transporting, or harboring of somebody by the means of force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of sexual exploitation or labor exploitation. During the last Super Bowl week in Las Vegas, police made over 400 human trafficking-related arrests. Cops say 26 of those arrested involved so-called bot cases. In a bot case or robot case, a detective uses the internet to covertly converse with individuals who say they desire to pick up a kid and do sex trafficking with them, according to the Las Vegas sheriff. Officials say children are easily exploited because they're vulnerable targets for manipulation, as are illegal immigrants who are often unfamiliar with the English language. Where children and those in desperate financial or social straits are concerned, online solicitation is prevalent all over the world. Young boys and girls in the LGBTQ plus community are also vulnerable targets. Law enforcement officials say these youngsters make up 40 to 60% of those being exploited for sex. Homeland Security investigators recently held a 2-day human trafficking awareness seminar here in New Orleans to instruct law enforcement officials, nonprofit human services organizations, and hotel establishments on what to look for when human trafficking might be taking place. While the Super Bowl no doubt promises to be an exciting time in the Crescent City, let's remember to be compassionate and mindful of those who might be experiencing a time of trouble and unspeakable despair. If you see something that you even remotely suspect is human trafficking, call 1-888-373-7888. 1-888-373-7888. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
In New Orleans, food, family, and culture are everything, and the National Fried Chicken Festival presented by Raising Cane's is fried fun for everyone. This year, Fried Chicken Fest is back with over 40 restaurants, 2 days of nonstop entertainment across 4 stages, and 3 VIP experiences. Join us October 5th and 6th on Lakeshore Drive at Franklin. Get your tickets today at friedchickenfestival.com.
WBOK is pleased to announce the reboot of Crosstown Conversations with host Gene Nathan. A heightened focus on cultural entertainment events and the creators who present them. The new time is now Saturday at noon. Tune into the stories of our exploding creative scene with Gene Nathan on Crosstown Conversations.
Every day, the RTA gets thousands of New Orleanians where they need to be. Whether you're headed downtown, the Ninth Ward, or Algiers, our buses, ferries, and iconic streetcars are going your way. Rolling with the RTA is a smart way to help you save money and the environment. Download the La Pass app today to plan your ride, get real-time arrival information, or make mobile payments. Because the RTA is how New Orleans rolls.
Talk That Nola Education is all about awareness. Join Dr. Jaquil Ross from New Schools for New Orleans to learn about Thrive Kids, a student wellness program created at Children's Hospital and in partnership with NOLA Public Schools. Tune in for Talk That this Monday at 12:30 p.m. on 12:30 a.m.
This is the coach, Garrett Sachere. The Sports Report is coming up next on WBOK 12:30 a.m.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check, look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check, look.
All right, folks. Before we get out of here, because coming up at 4 o'clock is a sports report. Coach Gary Sachere is coming up. Make sure you check him up at 4 o'clock. I did have this information because I did get a couple of telephone calls from folks that was asking questions about this issue of elections and voting and early voting and all of that stuff. So let me give you the dates because I need you to write this down so that you will have these dates. Because one of the things that we want to make sure that everybody has is the Louisiana early voting dates. So early voting. Registration deadlines by mail, postmark, if you're trying to get out there to vote, it's October the 7th. In person, local election office, October the 7th. Online, October 15th. Early voting is October 18th through the 29th. That's early voting in Louisiana, October 18th through the 29th. In person, it is November the 5th, okay? So write that down, put it on your calendar. Early voting, October 18th through the 29th. Why are you telling everybody this, Gerard? I'm telling you everybody this for a reason. Because we come up with some stuff. We be out of town. We going here. We going to this game. We doing something. And as many festivals and all the other stuff that we have here in New Orleans, let's not have any excuses. October the 18th through the 29th, in person November 5th at the election polls. You can choose whether to vote on an election day or during the early voting period, whichever is easier for you. I know there are a lot of organizations out here that are now making sure that you are registered to vote. This can be specifically and especially helpful if it would be difficult or not for you to vote on the election day. Early voting locations may be less crowded as well. You can early vote, again, October 18th through the 29th. Dates and times may vary by the location. Where can I early vote? Early voting locations may be different from where you vote on the election day. Let's make sure you understand that. The election, Louisiana's site will give you the early voting location. We'll get to that as we get closer to. And what do I need to bring? You'll be asked to show your photo ID to vote in Louisiana. Forms of those photo IDs include a Louisiana driver's license, a special ID, LA wallet, that is, digital driver's license, United States military identification, and contains your name and picture, and some generally recognized picture ID that contains your name and your signature. Voters with ID, if you are unable to provide that ID, you may still cast your vote by signature on a voter affidavit. All right, so you'll be able to vote, but you need to be able to cast that vote by signature on a voter affidavit. That means you're going to have to sign it, letting everybody know who you are and it's usually a commissioner or somebody that's going to walk up to you, make sure that you get it, all right? I just wanted to make sure we threw that information in there, and we'll keep on bringing that up until early voting time as well as the election date. And then I also have folks from Dillard University saying we need to talk to the kids again. We did Xavier twice. It's time for us to do it at Dillard University. So we are working with Dr. Smith, Dr. Seon Smith, to get this stuff done and get it all taken care of. So we'll do that, and we'll let you know the dates, all right? Otherwise, that's going to wrap things up for me. I appreciate everybody for being a part of the conversation on today. Interesting, huh? We'll be back on tomorrow to give you some more insight and, of course, to be talking to you about what's happening reality-wise on the reality check. Gary Sachet is coming up next. Y'all have a great rest of the day.
From the campus of Xavier University. WBOK 1230 AM. Go. And Equity Media.
I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
WBOK 1230 AM online at WBOK1230.com.
Before I start rocking, let's get one thing stated. My name is Ice-T when you pronunciate it, but I'm not the T the British drankies noon. I'm Ice capital T, yo, what's the beat for this tune? Yo.